Alright, yo. Hopefully you can hear me. Welcome to the stream. How are we doing? Good to see ya. Oh, do we not have transcoding options? Let me refresh Twitch a second. Yeah, we do. Weird, he does that sometimes. Like, I'll start the stream, I'll look and it's saying it's in 720. But then I refresh and it shows me as 936. How's the audio sounding as well? We alright? Is that, am I having audio issues? Or is that just playback on my headset there? That's a bit odd. It sounds like it's breaking up. Give me a second. My headset there. That's a bit odd. It sounds like it's breaking up. Give me a second. No, I think it's just Bluetooth on my headset. So I've got my phone connected to my headset as well, so like I can listen to the stream back through my headset from my phone and my PC. So I don't know if it was just freaking out a little bit there. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Hopefully you're doing well. It is a fine day again in the UK. It's pretty warm. AC's on. Try and keep our balls from sweating. But hopefully everybody's doing well. We're going to play some Terror Fantasy again today, I think. And probably going to watch some videos, react to some stuff, check out some videos on YouTube, and then jump into the game. And then later, we might check out Delta Force. That's if I can get a key. I have been unsuccessful so far. So hopefully I can get one. I have been lurking in some streams that are doing giveaways as well to see if I can get one. But so far, we have been unsuccessful in that regard. But I have signed up on Steam and on the website. So hopefully, maybe we'll receive an email at some point today. You never know. But I'm not holding out for it. Stutzat, welcome to the stream, buddy. How's it going? Later on, I'll probably do some dailies on Wuthering Waves and then jump into. I'm kind of feeling to play some Final Fantasy or New World. I need to get my mount unlocked on New World. I don't know what's going to happen when the new like spiritual successor, whatever it is, of New World comes out. I think you just restart the game, like just totally restart the game fresh. I don't know if that means that the old version of New World will be stopping, or if they're going to run like congruent to each other, or like I don't know exactly how that's going to work. But I've bought the DLC, the Angry Earth DLC, so I should have access to it when it comes out in October, so I won't have to pay for it, because the DLC was like 20 quid. I think the game's going to be like 30 to 40 quid, I think, when it comes out, so it made sense to do it while it was on sale. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, actually. But I am feeling a bit of an MMO, vibe at the moment. I think playing this bit of Terror Fantasy's kind of got me in the mood for it, and I haven't played any New World or Final Fantasy for a while, so kind of feeling it. Olga, mate, did you see DSP's new stream PC setup yesterday? No, I did see, because I'm subbed to a couple of the channels that make Phil videos. I saw that it apparently had a disaster PC stream. Was it all the PC's fault or something like that? I can imagine. It looked like a nice case that he got on it though. Like a white tower case, hadn't he? All white build. I don't know what the PC specs were, but looked like a nice little PC setup though. Hey Jamie, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to the stream. How you doing, fella? Are we alright, are we? Are we alright? How's things anyway though, Jamie? You all good? Yeah, watch a couple of videos and then we're gonna jump into some games. I want to watch out the 4-star character situation's bad, and I do want to check out this Ubisoft panics over Star Wars Outlaws. Begs gamers to lie about the game as Black Myth Wukong source. I don't know if I believe that title, but let's check it out as well. It's more the fact he's bemoaning his 2F setup, saying why he hated PC gaming despite the fact that someone had just donated an evidently expensive rig. I was going to say, it looked like a decent little rig, actually. Yeah, that's classic Phil for you, isn't it, that, you know? Can't appreciate what he's potentially got. This is annoying me, man. I can't even accept that this is something free. It's like, why is he taking him 2 hours to set it up anyway? Is he having Windows issues, or what? Home now, got let out of hospital yesterday. I mean, fucking hell, Jamie. Is that what was going on then when you said you was having some issues with, like, you know, you haven't been feeling well? Oh, fucking hell, man. Oh, glad you're back home. Don't know what caused it. When did this happen? Obviously, you ain't gonna say. What was you I'm assuming it happened a few days ago or something then, yeah? Or did they let you out the same day or something? Because I know nowadays, like, they don't fuck around with keeping people in, do they? You know, man. Well, at least you're back home. That's a good start. Dude, yesterday's stream, I thought about you when I finished stream. I was like, oh, I'm sure I ain't seen Jamie for a couple of days. I ain't even seen him in Discord or anything. Oh, did your brother have something like that a few weeks ago as well, sister? Fucking hell, boys. Look after yourself out there, man. I thought I got it bad as well, that I seem to be rapidly going grey. Hey, Gremlin. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, that's crazy, dude, man. I'm glad you're alright, though. Well, as okay as I'm sure you can be after something like that, but you ain't feeling very well at all. I know when my mum had like a bit of a cardiac issue not long ago, like she's on loads of different meds now for her, but she's got like microvascular I forgot exactly what it's called. But it's basically like, you know, the small vessels that like surround your heart, like some of those constricted, like. So she has to take a medication that brings her blood pressure down. One that like basically dilates the blood vessels. I'm so anxious these past few days. An exam is coming up and you're not ready. I'm sure you'll smash it. Yeah, exams are stressful though. I'm sure you'll smash it though, Gremlin. My mum's vascular dementia, she has aspirin. Well, she takes aspirin. She takes, like, some other stuff as well. I forgot what the one's called now. It actually, like, dilates the vessels. Like, if she has, like, any, like, well, they call it, like, an angina attack, but, like, if she has any chest pain, she's got, like, a spray as well that she can spray under her tongue. It's supposed to be, like, fast-acting. She takes tablets as well for it. But like if she ever misses a tablet, when she like misses a tablet, because like it gives her really bad headaches, like when she first started taking it, because I think obviously it dilates all the blood vessels in your brain and everything as well. So like it gives her bad headaches as well. But she's gone totally vegetarian now. Like she lost a bunch of weight. Like she started putting weight back on now though. She's doing really good now, actually, though. So where's that in the garden, doing work in the garden? Doing far too much, really, if you ask me. But you know what that can be like, man. There's no telling her. She just won't listen sometimes. All right, then. Should we get into checking out some videos. Check out some videos and then
So one has to.
We'll jump into it. I want to watch this video first. Hold up. I need to make it so you guys can actually see what the freak is going on. Yeah, I hope you're feeling better, Jamie. It's good to see you back as well, buddy. Good to see you back. Alright, check out this video from Saint Tontas. I think that's how you pronounce it. Apologies if I'm butchering his name. Watched the video from him the other day, which is a great video, talking about the 4-star weapon situation in Wuthering Waves. And now it looks like he's talking about the 4-star character situation in Wuthering Waves and that it's bad. I do have issues. I says we definitely need more 4-star characters in this game, along with more supports and along with full-on sustain healer characters. We've got so many DPSs and sub-DPSs that really are DPSs at the moment, and it'd be nice to see some variation in the characters coming soon. I think we are getting that very soon, but we definitely do need some good sustains. But let's check out this video. The 4-star character situation is bad.
4 is less than 5. And in a game like Wuthering Waves, less is not more. With lowered base stats, lower scaling,
By quite a large degree as well, to be fair.
and lower overall damage than their 5-star counterparts, 4-star characters are an unfortunate byproduct of the gacha system. How can you make your limited characters worth more unless you have something worse to compare them to? The end result of this design
I
philosophy
wouldn't even say worse, it's just they're better, but obviously by that fact they're worse as well. I'll get it.
is that you have some characters that perform a lot better than others in almost every circumstance. And this oftentimes has players wondering
Verena, you know, we need somebody to compete with that, just saying.
whether or not these 4-star characters are ever worth investing in. With the limited amount of resources available
I think they are.
combined with the hefty cost.
I think they are. I think it depends what you're trying to do in your team, but I definitely think they are. You know, obviously, if you want to have a Verena, it's definitely worth investing in somebody like Boiji. Actually, I forgot, is Boiji a 5-star now? That's totally gone out of my head. Whatever, anyway. But characters like Danjin, Mordefi, in my opinion, are definitely worth investing in. Because I really like Danjin. She's like, to me, she's almost like a 5-star though. She's the most 5-star, 4-star in the game, in my opinion. She's a lot of fun to play with as well.
Of upgrading characters, they can find themselves in a difficult situation where they have to pick and choose who gets priority, knowing that someone else on their account is going to get ignored. And often
there we go. Now, just had to double check. Boiji is a 5-star. I was just like, I had a brain fart then. I was like, wait a minute. Boiji is a 5-star, isn't she? But is she? She is.
Sometimes these 4-star characters are the ones getting the short end of the stick. With the recent announcement of a new 4-star entering the roster, many are wondering.
I am happy about this though. We definitely need more 4-stars in my opinion. Not only just to make 5-stars a bit better, but we just need more of that in the role, to especially potentially support characters as well that could really be hopefully quite decent, and maybe we'll get more support characters in that role as well, because at the minute it feels like Kuro really want to lean into the DPS with the 5-stars. I don't know if it's to make them more appealing, because DPS characters tend to be more appealing, even though support characters really are the clutch characters that make everybody better. So really good 5-stars are the way to go in support, really, to be fair. But yeah, let's carry on.
Wondering if this character will even be worth investing in. While these characters are far easier to get multiple copies for, with their increased gacha rates on rate-up banners, their performance, even at max rank, oftentimes pales in comparison to their 5-star alternatives across every type of role imaginable. There's no...
Which makes sense again though, because of the gacha system. They've got to create a desire to want to pull for the 5-stars and want to go for the 5-stars and then potentially spend money as well, if you're losing your 50-50s or just out of the FOMO.
Problem at all with more expensive characters having better performance, but this gap is wide, and it extends beyond performance on the battlefield. Today,
I think this is one of the things with Wuthering Waves, though. There is like that. It's like the other weapons as well. The 4-star and the 5-star gap weapons. It is a big gap, and I think it is the same with the characters as well. Now, I think potentially over time, as we get more characters, I think that gap is going to shrink a little bit, just because we'll have a wealth of characters And also, we'll just see characters that inevitably become better because they're mixed with other teams and the synergy gets better. So they just, you know, by the fact that they work with a myriad of different characters, they become better themselves. But there is quite a large gap at the moment. Is that to me, it's not crazy, and it really doesn't affect the game terribly. But then again, I do pretty much have everybody in the game apart from Ling Yang, so I don't really feel that, oh, I'm missing out on the 5-star feel of the game because I've got all the 5 stars apart from Ling Yang, like I say. But I can see where he's coming from with this.
We'll be discussing why this is the case, breaking down the power level of 4-star characters, not just from a combat perspective, but from an account building one as well. 4-star characters inherently have many disadvantages when compared to their 5-star peers.
Which makes sense.
And these disadvantages can oftentimes cause massive problems with the player's progression, especially as they begin tackling endgame content like the Tower of Adversity. 4-star characters, much like their 5-star alternatives, are split across 3 main roles across their teams. The supports, who shield and heal while also providing general buffs, the sub-DPS characters that specifically grant damage boosts and off-field damage, and the main DPS characters, those who take up a majority of field time and deal the most damage on the team. Among these 3 categories, there's one in particular that's easily the most useless when we
Hold up, let me just double check. Google's telling me she's a 5-star. I feel like I might need to boot the game up. I'm tripping. I'm absolutely tripping here. No, she's a 4-star. Okay, so I was originally right. Google's lying to me, man. Google's straight up lying to me. I was gonna say I had a proper brain fart. I was like, wait a minute, is she a 4-star or 5-star? Because like there is no real, obviously there is no 5-star competitive arena, and I was like, wait a minute, I know Boiji is far off arena, but is she a 5-star? And I was like, no, she's a 4-star. So I thought, let's Google it. The internet lied to me, chat. The internet lied to me.
think of 4 stars, and that's the main DPS. 4-star characters come with a lot of disadvantages that make their performance as a main DPS less than ideal.
This is where, though, again, as I say, the potential for 4-star support in the future, if we get more 4 stars, and will the Kuro concentrate on getting us more 4-star characters in the future, these 4-star DPS characters now are going to potentially have more capabilities in endgame content. I do understand at the moment, and it makes sense that 5 stars are going to be a lot better because they want people to buy on banners now, and they're going to want that to continue. And I think as the game grows, that will continue. But I think getting out really good 5 stars now is kind of important without power creep in the previous 5 stars. And then maybe potentially getting a good amount of 4-star supports and some decent 4-star DPSs as well that can like work well together, that will really lift the 4-star teams up so they can compete. But at the end of the day, they're always going to be lesser than, aren't they? Because it makes sense. Otherwise, the system itself wouldn't be so intriguing or interesting, or would make you not want to purchase. What's the point? What's the point in rolling on banners if you're going to be able to get free 4 stars that are just as good, or maybe even potentially better, or very slightly worse off? You know, it's what's the point if you can build a character for cheaper and you're going to be able to get them a lot easier and potentially get lots of copies? Then, you know, and I think that's the reason as well. I think because the potential of getting multiple copies is there, that because we've got a smaller roster of characters at the moment, these characters kind of need to be lesser than, because you're more likely to get 3, 4, 5 copies of a character where you might only get 1 5-star. If they are very close in comparison to the 5 stars, once you get those copies, they're going to be surpassing the 5 stars, aren't they? And then that's not going to be good for the economy and then wanting to make people pull for the 5 stars.
Every percentage stat boost in the game, be it from your echoes or your team's buffs, will simply have less of an impact on a 4-star character. That's because all of these buffs calculate off your base attack, and 4 stars have less compared to their competition. When your main DPS is also the one benefiting from most of the buffs across team rotations, like those from Moonlit Clouds or the outro skills of your teammates, this has a huge impact across your damage that immediately limits the potential of every 4-star character.
Which is always going to be the case, though. It's always going to be the case. Even as like I said, as the we get a bigger player base, a bigger character base, and the 4 stars potentially get better. It's always going to be the case that they're limited compared to the 5 stars, and that, you know, should be that way, really, shouldn't it? Because what's the point in having characters that are rated higher, but they're not actually better?
And with how high base attacks can rise as a character reaches level 90, there's only more and more value lost as you invest more into a character. This feeling sucks. And when you consider the massive amount of time and time-gated resources that it takes to get these characters maxed,
yeah, that's it. It's when it comes to doing not so much your essential materials, it's more when it comes to doing like your Forte circuit. Like, that takes a hot minute to do, that does. With the time-gated boss materials, it really starts to slow down in like maxing the character out fully.
it can feel like all of their investments have been wasted, especially when they pull their 5-star alternative with the same attribute. Sunk costs, specifically in gacha games, don't feel great, and players will oftentimes come to the conclusion that building these 4-star main DPSs are never worth it, because an existing character will do the job better, or there's a new one on the horizon that will take their role in the future. Fortunately, if you have built up an amazing...
But this is the cycle of gacha games though, isn't it? I think if you can't deal with this necessarily, I don't think the gacha space is the right space for you. It's not to say that there isn't things that can be done to make it less of an issue, or to lessen the degree and the gap between the characters. But at the same time, they've got to be smart about it, haven't they? Because they've got to encourage people to want to pull on the banners. You know, we've got a lot of free stuff from Kuro, really. So, you know, I understand the gap needs to be lessened potentially, I think, but it's finding that fine balance, isn't it?
Amazing attribute damage set for a 4-star DPS, it can likely be transferred to a new character with minimal loss. Thankfully, this 4-star DPS dynamic is something we haven't experienced very much of across Wuthering Waves. This is because there's only one 4-star main DPS across the entire roster, and that unfortunate title belongs to Chisha. We can only hope it doesn't spread to new releases. However, characters like Danjin
I don't mind that. I don't mind us getting 4-star DPSs. Again, as I say, as the roster builds, I think the potential for them to get lifted by new 4-star characters as well, and actually having really good synergy. So a 4-star team's never going to be the same as a 5-star team, but you know, can kind of hang in some of the later game content.
Jin are frequently played as a main DPS, but that's not the only role that she serves on teams. Her outro skill, along with those of many others, has her lean into more of a sub-DPS role on other teams.
Yeah.
And that role has far more longevity than a main DPS. This is for a few reasons. First, sub-DPS 4-stars don't need as much investment compared to main DPSs to perform on their teams. Outro skills, despite their
They do more of a job as well, don't they?
incredible strength, don't scale at all with the character's stats or levels. You can't upgrade these outro skills on a tree, and they have their full power from level 1. They instead scale with the strength of your main DPS, and what this means is that you can funnel those resources you'd spend leveling and upgrading a sub-DPS character's skills into those of your main DPSs instead. This naturally makes these characters a lot more affordable to build, specifically from a leveling perspective. This also makes them a lot easier to build when it comes to their equipment and echoes. With less of a focus on their personal damage and more focus on their buffing capability, these characters can easily get by on the moonlit clouds.
So it's always, again, having a sub-DPS / support character is always better to have for the team. And at the end of the day, again, as I say, if we get really good characters like that coming out in the future that can potentially work really well with further DPSs, full-on DPS 4-stars that are going to obviously, well, I would think, come to the game soon. You know, I don't see this as being a long-term problem, in my opinion. I don't even see it as a major problem right now. I see where he's coming from, but I really just don't think it's that big of a deal at the moment. And at the end of the day, again, this is just the way gacha games work. There's always going to be that world of the haves and have-nots. It's just how it is. And if that's not a thing you like, then it's not the place for you, I think, at the end of the day. I understand there's degrees, but I think this game is incredibly generous across the board, really. So, you know, having a gap there isn't really a problem, in my opinion.
Echo set and a concerto energy generation weapon. And with these weapons and
And as well, you just need to get good at pools, you know what I mean? Just win your fucking 50-50s.
Echoes also shareable across the endgame. What this all means is that 4-star sub-DPS characters can get the job done with minimal investment. This is great, not just because it makes the leveling and gearing process for your teams a lot easier, but because it makes upgrading from these sub-DPS characters far less painful in the long run. This is because the 5-star sub-DPS characters and buffers we've seen completely blow the 4 stars out of
Yeah, absolutely. Yinlin, oh man, she's just so goated, Oliver.
the water on their best teams. With the outro skill buffs of Yinlin and Chang Li's compared to those of Alto or Dan Jin, it's clear that some of these buffs are a lot stronger than others. With incredible personal damage as well, these characters are oftentimes a strict upgrade over their 4-star counterparts. However, due to the specialized nature of these buffs, like Yinlin and Chang Li boosting Resonance Liberation damage, the current cast of 4-star sub-DPS characters are actually better suited as general buffers, giving them some advantage over their 5-star peers. In my
It's like, I love using Mordefi with Jian. I think he's great, you know what I mean? I really do. He's the only real 4-star that I use in that regard, and I've kind of stopped using him now, if I'm honest, because I prefer Yinlin over him. But I'm not really using Jian at the moment. I've kind of been using a lot of Jinsi and Chang Li really recently, so he's kind of slipped out my rotation. But yeah, I like Mordefi.
opinion, that's fantastic design. Unfortunately, there is a third category of 4-star characters who lie somewhere in the middle when it comes to their long-term value, and that's the sustain characters. Sustain characters have some complications to them. They require a baseline level of investment to function properly, but pretty much all of them are strictly worse than Verena in almost every single way.
Again, this is the biggest problem in the game. It's not necessarily the 4-star issue. Well, I guess it is, but it's that we don't even have another 5-star that can compete with Arena in that regard. But I do believe in the sustain/healer space, there should be some really decent 4-stars that can compete. And obviously, hopefully, Kuro see that, and as they do launch more characters, we'll get those. Because at the moment, that's where the game is the most lopsided, is in the Arena meta, really.
With slower rotation times, clunkier mechanics, and less accessible damage boosts. They also scale off different stats from Verena, so there's no ability to share echoes across their teams unless you like having dead stats.
True.
When you need at least 3 teams of 9 unique characters to complete the Tower of Adversity, what this means is that a lot of players have had no choice but to invest in supports that
Dude, Verena just gets straight work to the bone, and then when she's worked to the bone, you then switch out. She's on the double shifts, I'm telling you, overtime. She's getting no time and a half pay, no holidays. She's just on that. She's straight on that freaking just like, well, she just worked like a slave, really, isn't she? She just gets she gets no time off, and she gets no thanks for it either.
they might not enjoy playing. In the present, 4-star support picks like Baija are a high priority to invest in, but the second that a limited support character releases, that priority will quickly disappear. It's a problem built by scarcity, and the only hope that we have when it comes to fixing this is the release of more limited sustains.
Yep.
However, it's also fair to say that many players don't like pulling for sustain units. There's a reason why they're
I think that one of the reasons why is a lot of people, it's just all about the flashy DPS at the end of the day. Like, there's other reasons for which I'm sure you'll get into, but one of the major reasons is the FOMO, the big numbers. People see that the kit on the new DPS, especially if it's got the waifu meta, it's doing big damage. I want that character. You know, that's far more important to a lot of people than maybe potentially a character that might not look so flashy, that's obviously not going to do outright numbers in the same way, but it's potentially going to make everybody else in the team or their potential teams way better. So overall, they're going to be doing bigger numbers, but it doesn't sell as well, does it? You know, like, you know, when you see somebody like Chang Li doing insane burst damage or Jinsi doing stupid numbers on a skill, like, you know, it's way more interesting for a lot of people, isn't it?
Their banners always end up performing badly compared to DPS characters. So if you're a player who falls into that boat, wear your level 80 or 90 Baija with pride. I'll be keeping her at 40 until the end of time. Overall, 4-star characters have some issues. Some, like the main DPS problem, don't feel like they have any solution at all.
Another issue with the Chia DPS situation is your 4-star doesn't even have the ability to parry as well, you know? So that's another thing that makes her kind of lesser than, although I really do like her, but I haven't leveled her up, so, you know, that speaks volumes, I guess.
Others, like the supports, have a problem that will soon arrive with new character releases. Others, like the sub-DPS characters, look to be the most useful out of the entire roster in the present and in the long-term future as well.
Yeah.
We should just be glad that most of the 4-star characters
And I think that's the way it's always going to be in these sort of games, really, unless you just have insanely broken new DPS characters coming out. Obviously, a sub-DPS slash buffer character, support character, is always going to be able to fill more roles and make a lot more characters better. So inevitably, you're just going to get a better synergy overall, better potential for numbers to be put out across the team, rather than that one character just being like really decent. The only way that they're going to surpass that, really, in my opinion, is the power creep. And we don't want to get into that situation, do we, where we just get ridiculous power creep every banner.
in the game serve this sub-DPS role. Hopefully, this overview was helpful in highlighting the future longevity of the 4-star cast. Many of them have to be designed in a way that leads to their eventual replacement down the road. That's just how gacha games work.
Yep.
As always, if you
especially for 4-stars as well, you know? It's one thing when there's power creep on 5-stars. That does get a bit annoying because you got people pulling for the banners, but at the end of the day, 4-stars are going to get power crept, aren't they? It's just going to happen.
enjoyed this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Peace out.
Especially another great video from Saint Tontas, especially in the support slash sub DPS space, because they're the characters that are really going to need to get better in the future to lift up older characters as well. So when you do get that power creep, this is where I was saying that's where support characters really come in to lift up old characters that might have been power crept. You know, so that character then becomes really usable in meta again, or for endgame content, and actually like competes with the new characters that, like, you know, they want to push because obviously they want you to pull on the banners. And that's that. So for the support 4-stars, they're just going to kind of get left on the wayside, aren't they? Really, the potential of new 4-star DPS is coming out. They're more likely to be sustainable from future support sub DPS 4-stars coming out in the future as well. Yeah, another great video from Saint Tontas. Guys, you should check him out, man. Small channel, but some really good content actually as well. Definitely looks into his stuff more than me anyway. Because I got it twisted thinking Baiji was a 4-star, which she is, then thinking she was a 5-star, and then Googled it, and then Google's like, yeah, she is a 5-star, and Google's a straight line to me, because, you know, the internet never lies, and I don't know what happened there. It's getting trolled. Straight up getting trolled. Alright, should we check out this video from Ubisoft panics over the Star Wars Outlaws thing? I'm interested in this. I'm interested because... Hold up. Just get chat up. I've lost chat. And alright, Gremlin, can't believe Google would lie to us. Like, what has the world come to? The internet lied to me. I can't believe it. Can't believe you've done this to me. Right, I want to check this video out from Dread Roberts. Ubisoft panics over Star Wars Outlaws. The reason being, a lot of people seem to have quite a negative view towards this game. I haven't really watched much of it, but what I've seen of the game, I'm just going to say I kind of like the look of the game. I don't get what all the negative press is with the game. I don't understand what people are really taking umbrage with. I could have missed out on a lot because as I say, I haven't really looked into the game too much, and I get it. It's Ubisoft, and sometimes it is cool to rail on Ubisoft, and people probably have got good reasons for disliking the game or potentially thinking it's going to be a flop. But so far, from what I've seen, I just think it looks all right, man. And I'm down. I know a lot of people are like, well, it hasn't got Jedis in. You're not playing as a Jedi, so instant downvote for me. But I'm like, dude, I like the expanded world and universe of Star Wars, so I don't mind playing characters that aren't necessarily Jedi or Sith or whatever. I'm cool playing couriers or bandits or whatever it might be. But anyway, let's get into the video.
So one has to wonder at times which of these Ubisoft titles are going to fail harder upon release.
This is true. when it's coming from Ubisoft, you know there's probably going to be a problem with the game. It seems to be their motto, their MO recently. Well, for quite a while now. I've said this for a while about Ubisoft games. It feels like they're just made on a production line with little soul a lot of the time. But yeah, I digress. Let's get back into it.
Is it going to be Assassin's Creed Shadows or is it going to be Star Wars Outlaws? Well, let's weigh the two games together. On one hand, Assassin's Creed Shadows is knee-deep in controversy with both the United States and Japan, but their gameplay, even though it looks pretty crappy from what we've seen so far, influencers have not gotten their hands on it to make judgments for them.
And let's not pretend that that game isn't going to do numbers. It's going to do numbers. I'm telling you, it'll probably be the best-selling Assassin's Creed because I think... was it Valhalla, the one set in England, the Viking one? I think that sold the most units, didn't it? And a lot of people don't like the RPG elements in the modern Assassin's Creed games. I'm going against the grain here. I kind of like them. I like it being an open world action RPG. A little bit too big, if you ask me. The game went on for far too long, that game did. It just like, for about 20 hours before the game finished, I was like, the game needs to end now. It's dragging out too much. But yeah, I didn't really like the old Assassin's Creed games that much, if I'm honest. I prefer the RPG elements in the games
themselves. But on the other hand, for Star Wars Outlaws, we have tons of gameplay from tons of influencers, and many of them were apparently rewarded by Ubisoft for saying positive things about their game. We're going to get into some of that, but we also have to show you guys some pretty
cookies.
Crazy, horrendous gameplay from Star Wars Outlaws. Go into some of the requirements for that game and then touch upon Black Myth Wukong.
Okay, hopefully we get to see some gameplay here, actually, because as I said, I haven't really looked at much gameplay. And for a game that I'm actually kind of interested in, I guess I'm doing myself a disservice, I suppose, but I tend not to look into gameplay too much and just check it out. And if I don't like it, I don't like it, you know, and just decide for myself. I think nowadays we spoil ourselves too much with YouTube videos and previews and extended previews and then watching reviews before we've even played the game, and then we've kind of experienced the game vicariously through somebody else before we've even touched it. It just takes away all the shine. And if that means now and again I get an absolute dud, I think I'm okay with that, because it means that when I do get good games, I enjoy them a little bit more, you know?
So let's start with this article from That Park Place. More Star Wars Outlaws clips mocked for terrible AI, bad combat, horrible physics, and ridiculous strong female protagonist moments. And guys,
I don't have an issue with that. I know it's the cool thing to do nowadays. At the end of the day, if it feels forced, that just gets on my nerves. But I don't have an issue in a game with a woman kicking dude's ass. It's like, okay, all right. Oh, in real life, maybe they'd be overpowering her, but whatever.
Guys, you all knew that this was coming. Sweet Baby Inc. has already been known to work with Ubisoft, and Ubisoft has been on the decline.
Okay, if they are working with the game, the potential for it to be an absolute dog shit has increased massively. I hope they're not, but the likelihood that they are is probably quite high.
For many years now. Remember that they hit their peak years ago, and they have been declining ever since. There is no healthy trading with Ubisoft right now. So it is not a surprise that we have tons of gameplay that is being obliterated by either Star Wars fans or gamers everywhere. It says more Star Wars Outlaws clips have made their way online, and they are being mocked for featuring strong female protagonist moments, terrible AI, and simply bad physics. I mean, really, a Ubisoft game. You guys had one job: make a fun Star Wars game. But not only are you not making it fun, you're
which, when you think about it, obviously we haven't seen I haven't seen any more gameplay here. It's not hard to do, is it? You've got Star Wars. You know, it feels like, how do you not make that fun, you know? So, I hope the game is good, but, you know, hopefully we get to see some clips of gameplay here, because, like I say, I'm kind of riding in the dark here.
Making it tedious, you're making it repetitive, you're providing gamers with unfinished versions of the game with...
Well, that's Ubisoft through and through, repetitive, you know? Let's not pretend that quite a lot of the games become repetitive, you know?
Combat AI that is absolutely terrible, and it is immersion breaking 100% of the time. That on top of a main character that is all but unappealing as a playable character type, with a very limited temporary arsenal that only serves the fights that you are in if you are following the rules of the forced stealth gameplay. There's so much here that is wrong with this game. There's a post from Grums that shows...
Must admit, not a fan of forced stealth gameplay in these so-called, I think it is an open world game, yeah? It seems like that's kind of what it was advertised as. Again, I've only watched the initial reveal, and I've probably seen about 15 seconds worth of gameplay of somebody riding around on a speeder. So I'm not a fan of when you've got an open world game and it's like it's now and again, if it's really part of a story beat, I'm fine with being pushed into some stealth. But as somebody who's trash at stealth and is not really a big fan of it, especially in an open world game, I like a bit of choice to be able to be like, right, I'm going in guns blazing here, you know, and use the environment to to my advantage however I use it. Obviously, I can go stealth if I choose, but when you're forced into it, yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
It was one of these things. I just want to show you guys some crazy gameplay today. It says another Star Wars Outlaws immersive takedown via Fleekazoid's roast. There was a YouTuber that made a video mocking all of the gameplay in Star Wars Outlaws. As you can see, the main character goes up behind this stormtrooper and just grabs his helmet and throws him on the ground, and she knocks him out just like that. Boom, done. You know, it's just poor animation effort at this point. These people aren't really trying to make cake.
I will admit, does look a little bit lazy there. Does look a little bit lazy. You know, I'll give you that. But it's not immersion breaking for me. Again, I'm very easily pleased, I guess. But I can definitely see where they're coming from here. You know, it could do with being a little bit better than that, really. You know, make it a little bit more flamboyant, put a bit more effort into it for sure.
Vess look like a formidable character in any way. They just give her overpowered strength despite her ridiculously small body frame. And she can knock stormtroopers out by slapping them or touching them on the shoulder or just looking at them, I guess. Grums goes on to say, I love how he doesn't even rear.
Okay, I'm going to say one thing that's probably going to be a hot take here. I think if they did make her look bigger and stronger, then you would have the same group of people potentially who'd be like, oh my God, another butch-looking character. You know, so that there, I don't mind characters that don't look strong, you know, showing strength above what they look like they're capable of in a video game. At the end of the day, it's a video game, so I don't mind a character like doing stuff where you're like, they couldn't do that. End of the day, it's a video game in a world where it's space wizards. So I think, you know, characters maybe doing stuff that doesn't look necessarily realistic isn't a major issue, but the animation did look kind of poor.
His head back to resist and his legs go limp and spaghetti to enable his fall. I mean, really, she's super strong. She's a strong protagonist. Okay, this is how they make the main character playable. This is what the head developer of the game said himself. He wants her to be an approachable main character. So therefore, we're going to make her super strong and she can take out enemies instantly. Apparently, the stormtroopers just drop their weapons when they're being confronted by this character. Look what she does here. I don't know.
Okay, that was pretty crappy. Like, she hadn't even, like, aggressively done anything to him in terms of, like, restraining him or inflicting pain. She, like, goes to grab him and he's just like, oh, I guess I don't need this anymore.
Understand this animation. She just walks up and turns his body around nicely. Look at that. Just like, hey, what's going on?
Go to
Excuse
sleep.
Me. Boom.
Go to sleep.
You know what's really amazing is that not only does this game...
See, that would look a lot better if before she punched him and knocked him out. I don't have an issue with that. Is that there was an animation for her to like grab him and knock the weapon out of his hand or twist it up and use the weapon to knock him out. That would look a lot better. Yeah, that did look kind of crap, that did.
Have horrible AI and gameplay. It also has terrible optimization. If you see this post from Learning the Law, he goes into detail about the requirements of the game. And this is some seriously outdated, unnecessary stuff right here. Star Wars Outlaws recommends
3060 Ti for 720p, bruh. Jeez.
3060 Ti for native 720p resolution. Okay, I have a 3060 RTX. I've got a video card that can run most games at max graphics, but the fact that this is only going to get you to 720p resolution is pretty insane. And this is supposed to be a big game. Of course, Ubisoft downplays the graphics of their games, so they're not going to look as great as they do in the trailer.
This is true. This is true.
Trailers. But even so, you're going to get performance issues here. You're not going to get the full scope and visual levels that you would have gotten if you had a much more powerful PC. They also have a season pass coming, and we're going to take a look at the season pass because it is going to break you guys' brain.
Yeah, not a fan of that. It's a single player game, isn't it? As far as I'm aware, like I say, I still haven't really looked into this game massively, even though I'm kind of looking forward to it. As far as I was aware, it's an open world, single player, story based game. So the idea of having a battle pass within that sucks absolute balls. Just no need for that, in my opinion.
Immerse yourself in
It's
the
just
most
trash.
empowered female character.
And if that's a line from the devs as well, that's kind of crappy. Like, why? You know, immerse yourself in the most empowered female character in the Star Wars universe. Isn't she like a bandit? Is that what being empowered is? Like, come on, man.
In the Star Wars universe, journalists compare this to Red Dead Redemption.
Now, hey, anybody who's doing that, this game needs to seriously be a top tier game then, because let's face it, Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the best games ever. and creates one of the best worlds ever. And he's incredibly, probably, potentially the most immersive game ever. I don't think that's a hot take at all. You know, there's questions on whatever people think is the best games and all that sort of stuff. But Red Dead Redemption's world is insanely immersive and detailed. When you're going around that world, like, I don't think there's another world out there that's made as well as Red Dead Redemption 2, in my opinion. And the potential for antics and fun just seems to be unlimited in a game that now, how many years old is he? I still see clips of people doing stuff in Red Dead Redemption 2 now, and I'm just like, dude, this game is insane. So I think saying stuff like that is a massive reach, potentially. Hey, I might be wrong. The game might be insane, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ever, the journalists are saying. Here are some incredible quadruple level AI reactions. Here's some of the reactions from...
Okay, though. Where are the journalists saying this, though? Is this just somebody saying this about journalists? You know... I know this is in this article here, but, like, are they really saying this? I'd like to see some quotes on that, if I'm honest. Hey, I'm not defending games journalists, because a lot of people know my views on a lot of journalists in the gaming space over the last few years, and they're not exactly positive. But, you know, other than just saying that, probably need to see a little bit of evidence for that, really. Because that is a massive reach, in my opinion.
So they're just looking at her.
Yeah, that's bad.
She's pointing her weapon right at him, and he sees her
really
at point-blank range and starts firing.
Yeah, that's really bad. I know the memes about stormtroopers never hitting their shot and being dense, but that's really poor, that is.
Firing at her. So the AI is really, really dumb. It's poorly designed, poorly executed. The enemies just stare at you and stand there. They just walk right up to you and just start a conversation, I guess. And then some scenes, they just start shooting walls instead of shooting at you. Here's another post from him that I reported on the other day. I'm having a blast with Star Wars fighting mechanics.
As such, the blaster battles felt like they had meaningful stakes, and the stealth gameplay had a bit of weight to it because I knew that
Dude, somebody's got to have put the audio over that clip, right? That person genuinely can't be talking about the game while using that gameplay in that regard. Surely not. That's got to be edited. Not saying that they're editing what the person said, but like in the context of it being over that gameplay.
Yep, you had IGN praising this game. And while they were praising the game, they were showing everybody gameplay that is just the worst thing you've ever seen.
So they were showing that gameplay? Oh my god, IGN, come on, man.
But that's how the media works, and that is how Ubisoft works. They take the worst parts of their game and they give it to the media and say, hey...
I feel like that maybe IGN are like, you know, trying to keep it sweet, but at the same time being like, look, you know, actually showing it while they're saying something else, because to show that particular piece of gameplay, well... making the comments that he just made is wild.
You have to say nice things about this game because we need this game to succeed, even if the gameplay is absolutely terrible. I mean, look at this GIF right here. Here is a GIF of a stormtrooper just shooting a wall randomly. Okay, so K-Vest's character just gets up, looks up and sees stormtroopers just shooting walls. I mean, this is the kind of thing that you're going to walk around seeing while you're playing this game that you just spent $70 to $130 to play. You're going to be seeing a bunch of stormtroopers walking around like chickens with their heads cut off, and they're going to be shooting walls and walking right up to you and doing absolutely nothing while you struggle to comprehend in your mind why you even decided to buy this game. As per...
That is, it's not great. Yeah. We're looking at Bethesda levels of stuff there, really. Yeah, there's no argument from me there. That looks pretty freaking trash.
Manga lawyer,
Okay, I shouldn't have watched this video, I guess. I was kind of looking forward to this game. It's rapidly not becoming the case right now. Hopefully this is sort of stuff, though, that can be tweaked for launch, hopefully. You know, but it's not looking good, man. Having AI in a game like this being really that dumb, really, rather than it being immersion breaking, at the end of the day, it makes it unfun. You know, there's one thing having your immersion broke in a game. It sucks, especially if the game's trying to pull you in and you're trying to get involved with all that sort of stuff. It does suck. But at the end of the day, if the fun's not there because the game's so dense, that's 100 times worse than any immersion breaking elements to the game, in my opinion.
Never been so immersed in a takedown experience as I was with Star Wars Outlaws. IGN 10 out of 10, too much empowered women experience as she...
Is that really quotes coming out of them? They don't surprise me. I'm not saying they're not because they sound like very journalistic quotes, but that's really weird. Unless they're adding that on. I'm guessing they're adding that on, right? They've got to be. Yeah,
Walks
they're
up
adding that
behind
on.
a
The end of
stormtrooper
the
and
quotes there, isn't
smacks
he?
him
Okay,
in
yeah.
the head like it's absolutely nothing. I gotta say, stormtroopers are the most pathetic bad guys.
So that sort of stuff doesn't necessarily bother me. You know, there's been lots of games throughout the time where characters hit characters. Like, look at it in films, the amount of times people get punched in the face and just they're out cold. You know, when I'm not saying you can't knock people out like that, but Christ, I've seen so many films where people take body shots and they're faint, and it's just like, what?
Cinematic history. And this person says, Star Wars Outlaws makes me feel like I'm in an episode of Andor. Oh my goodness.
Move, trooper. There's a possible intruder near the cargo bay.
So this person's hiding behind this one piece of cargo, and stormtroopers just run right past her. That's stealth in this game. But by the way, a lot of these segments are forced as she just punches a stormtrooper, knocks him out with her spindly little hands.
I'm not even going to say, like, out of all of this, that didn't look that bad to me at all there. Hiding behind the box and the stormtroopers just running past you, like, as if other games don't do that all the time. I don't really have an issue with that. And that animation to knocking out that stormtrooper doesn't really bother me. The idea that, you know, just because it's a female character, she can't knock out stormtroopers, like, you know, at the end of the day, that doesn't bother me, man. You know, I get it. A lot of people get annoyed at, oh my God, I'm putting women in my games. You know, when it feels forced, that annoys me. Or just because a female character can spark out a stormtrooper, not really fussed about that. The crappy animations are more of an issue, you know, at the end of the day.
What more needs to be
Yo,
said
what's up,
about
cheese?
this? Other people who are playing this make jokes about crashing their speeders, but really he has a full-on minute of him crashing a speeder because obviously it's not really designed all that well. There are just so many issues with this game, and we haven't even gotten to the social aspects of everything. But you do have this 3.5 almost
Is that Steven Seagal?
hour video from Fleekazoid in which he ripped this game to pieces, and he got a lot of views for it, a lot of likes for it. People absolutely loved it. They do not love Star Wars Outlaws, which is why Ubisoft has to pay people to pretend to love Star Wars Outlaws, as per that Park Place again, because they're awesome at consolidating all of this information. Ubisoft buttered up YouTubers and influencers with trips to Disneyland and boat tours to promote Star Wars Outlaws.
Sounds like a good time though, man.
So Ubisoft went to a bunch of influential people, content creators, and they said, hey, we need you to say nice things about Star Wars Outlaws. Would you like to fly out to Disneyland to play our game? Would you like some plushies and some dinners and maybe a little bit of monetary compensation so that we can get some positive PR about our game? We're taking way too many hits from gamers right now. Here's where things get really interesting. You may recall in one of my previous videos, I talked about that earnings meeting that happened with the Ubisoft investors, and one of those investors called out their games saying, hey, are these projects really going to be profitable? To which the person that was in charge of this meeting responded saying, hey, we've got the biggest marketing campaign in the works and it's going to be insane for Ubisoft titles. That's what they were saying. And part of that,
at the end of the day, I do think this game will potentially be profitable. I don't know how much they've spent on development and how much they're spending on marketing. Obviously, that's going to reduce the profit potential because, you know, if they're spending a shit ton on marketing and it's been, I would imagine it's quite expensive to develop this game. It's a Star Wars game. This game is going to sell like hotcakes. It is, you know. There's a lot of people who've obviously got issues in it, and I can understand why with some of the stuff. But this game's going to sell well, man. You know, it's a Star Wars game. It's open world. Visually, it looks pretty decent. I get these issues here, but, you know, your average person who doesn't really sit and watch YouTube videos or doesn't spend time looking at gaming journalism, which I know is a lot more people do nowadays, this game's still going to sell a boatload.
That biggest marketing campaign ever was flying out YouTubers and influencers to Los Angeles to give them 4 hours with the game. So yes, I reported the other day there were 4-hour gameplay videos and live streams all over the internet. People were testing out the gameplay, giving their thoughts on it. And many of these people who were playing it were shipped out to Disneyland or the Ubisoft headquarters or wherever to play this game. What was really funny was that on Twitch, it really wasn't getting all that much activity despite all of these influencers that were given all of these lavish rewards. Cyberpunk 20XX revealed that one of his fellow German YouTubers,
Could that potentially be though that it's a story game? Because I'm the type of person, if I am planning to play a game, I ain't going to watch somebody stream it. I might watch a little bit of gameplay, and I mean just a little bit, just to get an idea of what it's about, because I don't want to spoil myself. But I guess maybe I'm different in that sense, because I know a lot of people will sit and watch a 3-hour stream of a game and then go out and buy it, like spoiling the last 3 hours of the first 3 hours of a game and then playing through it. So I guess maybe I'm a little bit different like that. But yeah, that's one thing I've found over the years when I used to stream on YouTube, and, you know, I used to do decent. When I did do story games, a lot of people were like, I'm planning to get these, so, you know, I don't want to spoil myself, so, you know, I don't know.
Artful Koenig confirmed the claim that it was the biggest marketing campaign ever. In translation, that person said, "We are the largest marketing campaign ever for a Ubisoft game," and I can definitely confirm the last part as
Is that true, though? Because I must admit, I haven't really seen much marketing about this game at all. I've seen no ads, although I do have YouTube Premium, so I don't see ads on YouTube. I haven't really seen many people talking about it in the YouTube space. I guess that a lot of the people that chose are just people who I don't follow or don't cross over with people I follow, so I've seen this sort of stuff. Again, the views obviously weren't great on Twitch, but was that because they chose people who don't necessarily play those particular games, so the crossover in their audience wasn't there, or they just weren't big streamers? I'm guessing they were decent viewed streamers, otherwise I wouldn't choose them. But yeah, if it is the biggest advertising campaign, it doesn't seem to be working.
As I was invited by Ubisoft to come to Los Angeles and play in the Star Wars Outlaws event. The location was really polished up, and there was a day in Disneyland and something like that, so they got to go on some rides after they played that game for them. I remember Rings of Power did something like this once, and it was a disaster, and that is something that Park Place mentions here. But they go on to say that Cyberpunk 20XX cited a post from Chewy, which states, "Ubisoft and Star Wars flew me out to California to play Star Wars, interviewed the game director and lead writer, and meet the cast. I'm beyond grateful." So a bunch of these influencers were taken out, and they got to enjoy a day in the sun at the expense of gamers, but to the chagrin of Ubisoft. Tofu Games wrote, "I had a blast experiencing Star Wars Outlaws at the preview event this week. Thank you, Ubisoft, for the Nyx plushie and for flying me out for all the festivities." Man, these people are getting all these nice perks. All they got to do is play a game that everybody is hating right now. Not mentioned in Cyberpunk 20XX's video, but the Star Wars HQ revealed they made lightsabers during the Disneyland VIP experience. Look at this. A picture of a group of influencers. They all got to make Star Wars lightsabers while they were out there playing Star Wars Outlaws. So all these content creators got together and they were like, man, this is awesome. Ubisoft has given us everything we could ever want. Now, of course, some of these people I've mentioned have not actually been given money. Another person clarifies that she hasn't been giving money when she was mentioned.
Yeah, that to me, that's a weak argument when content creators say things like that. Now, there is content creators out there who will receive money, receive sponsorships, and still lambast the game, and I respect that. But the idea that, well, I didn't get paid, it's like, you might not get paid, but you're getting benefits, and, you know, not just those benefits as well, you're also getting to be in the inner circle, so to speak, and sometimes a lot of people will be like, well, there's some things that are bothering me, but I'm not necessarily going to express them because I'm going to get cast out. Now, there's some people who won't give a fuck, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who, you know, at the end of the day, this is their job, they pay the bills, they're not making crazy money, so when they get these sort of deals, you know, when they're getting access to stuff that's going to allow them to generate content and they're getting paid in that way, I can understand them not wanting to rock the boat, so to speak. So the idea that where people are like, well, I didn't get paid, so, you know, obviously these are just straight up like, you know, they're my views. It's like, well, you know, you might not be getting paid directly. And I'm not accusing any of these people of that. But I just, when people say that, you know, well, I didn't get paid, it's like, well, you're not, but you're kind of being allowed to make money in another way, you know what I mean?
Mentioning in her video that she was not paid by Ubisoft or anyone else to make this video. I was given the opportunity to record content. However, it was fully my own choice to make and share content based on it. The only money I make from this content is from YouTube views. There is no shilling or hidden agendas involved. Well, from what I saw on Twitch, the game was not getting as much activity as I assume Ubisoft was hoping. But that didn't stop a number of these influencers from saying positive things about it. The media said positive things about it. They're calling it Red Dead Redemption 2 in space.
Wild statement.
I mean, that's probably the biggest compliment you can give a game, since Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the most technically impressive games of its time. But we all know that that's an insane thing to say. Ubisoft games are nowhere near that quality. Some of the games that have come out beforehand, and I'm talking about the more successful Ubisoft games, they still have tons of issues that Red Dead Redemption 2 does not have. And these issues have not gotten better over the past decade. That's why Ubisoft Ubisoft stocks keep dropping, among other reasons like Sweet Baby Inc. involvement in gaming consultancy that has all but tarnished their already tarnished reputation. But this YouTuber also notes that Ubisoft has held at least 2 of these big events, and he cites Miranda Lorian, who revealed she was invited to 2 events, one in June and another in July. So they're hiring the same influencers over and over again to go to multiple events.
Okay, and these guys as well, obviously coming from somebody who's a tiny ass channel, nobody cares what I think, but are they actually like targeting people who are going to, hate the word, influence anybody? You know, I hate the term influencer, but like, I think they'd be better off selecting YouTubers to just potentially upload footage of the game, you know, like you Jack Frags and those sort of people. Well, they'll just put up a 20-minute video, but the video will get like millions of views, you know, rather than spending all this money on these sort of people who will potentially get a few 100,000 views across all of the content, maybe. You know, I'm not like throwing any shade on these people. I don't know. These people might bring in insane views, but I've never heard of any of the people they're talking about. And as somebody who's in the gaming space, you know, I thought maybe one of the names on here I might have been like, oh, I know that name. But so far, I don't know any of these people.
That they have. Just don't expect all this positive PR that these influencers
and I know a lot of people are turning around like, who the fuck are you? I'm not saying I'm anybody, but you know what I mean.
are pushing out for this game to be genuine. In fact, I'm pretty sure that it's okay to suggest that much of this positivity about this game is fabricated. It's not even real. It goes on in that Park Place article to say, of note, this investigation follows in the wake of German YouTuber channel Piet Smiet, which has over 2 million subscribers, admitting that it removed its Star Wars Outlaws preview video, and the video itself was subject to a review process from a third party. In a post to YouTube, Piet Smiet shared that they removed their Star Wars Outlaws preview video from their channel. Do you know why they had to do that? Because they had to get approval first that the video was positive enough to be uploaded. It says, as translated by Deepl, one of the channel's owners stated, "Hi, Peter here. We've taken the Star Wars video offline, not because we wanted to sweep something under the carpet or anything, but because it should never have been published and we don't want it on the channel. We'll talk a bit more about this in the next Spietcast episode. I'm sorry." So why in the world did they take the video down? Well, they weren't getting approved by the third-party agency. As translated by Deepl, the channel posted, "I completely understand the arguments that were made here, and that was not correct. I had the opportunity to play the game for 4 hours, and it was edited into over an hour of video. As part of the review process, the entire video was thrown back to us, and an intermediary agency, not Ubisoft, asked for a lot of changes." So this agency was saying, hey, this video is great and all, but we'd like you to make a few changes.
Okay.
Now, this guy said, since I
right.
personally thought the game was really cool, I didn't see that as a big problem. This was a huge miscalculation. It added, sorry, you don't have to pre-order a game of...
Now, obviously they're acting under like the umbrella of Ubisoft, but how much control are Ubisoft getting over what this agency is saying? Are they kind of acting out on their own? You know, are they making a bit of a reach on what they're supposed to be saying and doing? Yeah, that's not great, really. It doesn't look good on the game at all whenever you get this sort of stuff, when it's like, okay, you know, we need to vet it before it goes out, because at the end of the day, if it's a good product and they believe in the product, they'll be like, you know what, just make some content on the game, man. Like, have at it, enjoy it. Let's see what people have got to discuss about the game when it launches. Now, I can understand before a game coming out, especially a story game, where they're like, you know, or we don't want particular stuff to come out that's going to be spoilers, but then I wouldn't imagine they'd let them play that sort of stuff if they didn't want them recording that stuff as well. So it's kind of weird.
Of course, you can buy whatever you like with your money. I absolutely enjoyed the version I was shown. The process behind it was for the A, and I'm sorry that we didn't print more against it, but let ourselves be beaten wide open. Big sorry for that. So they were asking this person to change the wording at the beginning. So they're like, hey, this word right here, this really doesn't reflect what the game is supposed to be. It's not the most positive thing. Could you just change this so it says something way more positive and appealing and enjoyable about the game? And this guy's like, no big deal. So how many other influencers had to do the same thing when uploading their own content about this game? I mean, how much positivity about Star Wars Outlaws actually exists when most of their YouTube videos promoting their gameplay showcases are in the negative? They're in the red. You can't go to a single Star Wars Outlaws official video for the gameplay or the cutscenes or whatever story trailers they have without seeing an extremely negative ratio, just disliked into oblivion. So where is all this positivity besides influencers that are taking...
Why is that negativity though? I need to watch some more gameplay of this game because, you know, other than potentially looking sort of like average, I don't think it looks bad. Or maybe I haven't seen enough. Like, some of those animation look ass. I get that. Like, not very good at all, but the game looks kind of nice. I like the setting. It's Star Wars, open world, like, you know, being a bandit and a smuggler and all this sort of stuff seems kind of cool to me. I think visually it looks pretty nice. So I can understand people being like, yeah, this game's kind of mid, but like being really negative on it.
To Disneyland, treated to a nice dinner and a plushie and to a bunch of rides. Probably not very many positive comments out there. And they go on to say that Ubisoft is not the only company to do this and is far from the first. And these campaigns do not always work. They're definitely not working. The perception of this game is highly negative. Most people who watch the gameplay make fun of it. And the people who play it only have nice things to say for certain aspects of the game. But they have an overall mediocre response to what 4 hours that they were able to play. And a lot of people that I've watched play the game have a bunch of complaints about the inner workings of the game, such as lock picking or dialogue options, you know, the AI, the combat. You really don't need me to tell you because of what you've seen of how bad this gameplay actually is. I mean, this game is so very obviously unfinished. That's why Ubisoft is trying to sell content that already exists in a future Game Pass, because these guys suck. Ubisoft sucks. What happened when Elden Ring wanted to make a DLC? That DLC didn't come out until 2 years later, and these guys had not even started on it when the game was released. But this content,
I think sometimes it's a little bit unfair to compare things to Elden Ring, because Elden Ring's like the tippity top, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, but then again, they're making wild statements like, it's like Red Dead Redemption 2. Wild statement. And I'm not like excusing some of the practices that come out of companies like Ubisoft and EA when it comes to all the way that they do so, especially in story games. It's just bleh. But you know, I think sometimes it's unfair to compare them to greats. Not everything needs to be or is going to be that sort of level of quality, is it? Or even take that sort of, you know, importance in how they deal with stuff. The more companies should do a lot better, of course. But, you know, I just feel like that's like, you know, in the spectrum, in the scale, they're like, you know, not everything's going to be that sort of end of the scale, is it?
Content right here, and I'm just giving you guys an example of developers who actually care about you and developers who don't. Ubisoft is one of those developers who don't care about you. That's why they're going to charge you insane prices for the base game and charge you extra for content that should already be in the game. And by the way, this Game Pass content, this roadmap is complete nonsense. It says right here that the season pass...
Wait. Did you mean season pass then? Or is the game going to be on Game Pass?
Roadmap contains an exclusive mission, a character pack,
yeah, I hate this shit when it's a single player game and they've got like a roadmap. They're trying to turn a single player game into a game's live service, which just stop doing that. You know, like it doesn't need to be a thing. Just have DLC. Stop trying to turn it into this, you know, continually evolving thing. It's just like, no, just stop. Just make the fucking game, sell a box price, and then have some DLC later. You know, this just stinks of all of this sort of stuff he's already made, and it's just going to be tweaked slightly, and then it's going to be sold to you after the fact, and it's not nice.
Story Pack 1, a Story Pack 2, and 2 cosmetic bundles. So what in the heck are you getting for paying all of this extra money? This better be like $5 to $10, maybe even $20, but even that's a lot. But I assume that it would be like $30 or $40. But what in the world do people have to look forward to? An extra mission, a couple outfits, some story packs? I mean, these are things that should already be in the game. But that's what Ubisoft does. You know, they don't finish their game. They have a bunch of unfinished content. And so they're like, well, we're going to sell this at a later date rather than putting it in there, or taking more time to polish our games, which is something that they have not been doing, which is why they have huge scandals going on, like Assassin's Creed Shadows copyright drama, as well as the Japanese government taking interest.
Is that something that they use in the sword out in Naruto? Not Naruto, sorry, out of One Piece, yeah.
investigating them and the main character of the game that they have been trying to prop up as a legendary samurai lately, and why so many people are obliterating and ratioing all of their content that they try to show to gamers, because gamers just know that it's BS, all of it. And their PC requirements and their season pass, it's just stupid. It's stupid that we don't get any of these things in the base game. You're already charging a crap ton of money for people to play this. And I think that the most tragic thing about all of this is that all of this content that isn't very much content at all is split up over a period of several months. So you have the exclusive mission and the character.
And you know these little DLCs, this story pack, there's a reason why it's being called the story pack. It's probably going to be quite small. It's probably not going to be a lot of additional content. Exclusive mission. What's this for if you're spending a little bit extra money? That's trash. Hate when they do that. At the end of the day, there shouldn't be content that's removed from the game if you spend more. Just have that in the base game. I'm okay with DLC and stuff and maybe potentially getting some extra cosmetic character clothes or whatever if you spend a little bit extra. Whatever. If people want to spend the money, it's up to them. But yeah, when they do this sucks, man. This sucks because it's like, right, we've created this. It's ready to go on launch day, but we're going to take it out and charge people more to access it. That fucking blows.
Character pack coming out on launch day, so I don't even know. You have to pay for the season pass right away just to get those 2 missions on the day that the game comes out. And then...
Okay, so this is a season pass. Oh, yeah, makes sense. It's a season pass. Yeah, my bad. But yeah, it's fucking, dude, it's trash having a season pass in a single-player game. Just put this in the fucking game. Have these as little cosmetic things if you want, that people can purchase an extra version of the game or in a in-game store. And have these as just fucking DLC. Simple. You know what I mean? Like, instead of this dumb season pass shit, it's so they can fucking basically, you know, get all that up front. You know what I mean? Rather than, you know, when you actually see these story packs potentially getting promoted later on, you're like, dude, these look trash. I'm not going to buy these. Well, it's too late. You've already fucking bought them.
Months later in the fall, then you get the story pack 1 and 2 cosmetic bundles. Yay, so glad I paid extra for this. And then a story pack 3 in the spring of 2025. So they're not going to have any content all the way from fall to spring. And then you're just going to get a story pack 2.
Which, in my opinion, totally fine with that. If that DLC, you know, if you buy the game, comes out, whenever it comes out, you know, in fall, there's another DLC coming out. The fact that they've got it all really set up now is kind of makes me think that it's potentially all pretty much already done, which sucks anyway, that they're charging extra for it because it could be in the game now. But, you know, whatever. The DLC comes out, first DLC comes out towards the end of the year, and then there's a new DLC in spring 2025. That's fine. You know, DLC packs coming out or DLCs coming out with extra missions or whatever it might be for a single player game 6 months after launch, 12 months after launch, in my opinion, is not a major deal. They're going to lose a little bit of revenue because the hype's going to have gone from it, but it does bring a lot of people back, and people are happy to do that, especially when it's like, oh, you know, 15 quid, I can get an extra few hours into this game. I'm happy to do that. But the fact that you're buying the season pass at day 1 and then you're having to add, that's where the issue comes in. It's not necessarily that it's going to be till spring. It's just that you're buying a season pass that's really not a season pass, is it? You know, when I think of a season in a video game, you're talking like 90 days, really, max, you know, 3 months potentially, maybe even less, 6 weeks maybe. But, you know, months and months later is definitely not a season pass, in my opinion.
A pirate's fortune. So all of these things already exist. They've already been working on these, but you don't get to play them unless you pay us extra money and wait for several months. And all of this content is probably not going to be designed perfectly. There are probably going to be a bunch of glitches, but it is what it is, right? Let's take a look at Ubisoft Entertainment stocks. 17.11. We went over this the other day, but this just brings home the...
When did this video come out? I wouldn't look too much into the stocks at the moment because the markets at the moment are incredibly volatile with the concerns over the US economy going into recession. Majority of stocks, tech stocks across the world have pulled back. You know, a lot of bounce now, you know, over the entire globe, you know, currencies, freaking stocks, crypto, everything's had major freaking pullbacks recently. So I wouldn't look too much into the fact that Ubisoft stocks are pulling back as well. Now, obviously, this isn't a great trend, really. I don't know what sort of time period it is over. This is overall, so we're looking at a good few years here. So they've definitely been trending down for the longest time. So there is a trend going on there, but this is obviously not to do with this game or even probably the Assassin's Creed game. The local pullback is because of what's going on, and this is just a general bad trend overall. So I wouldn't align this to this game. It's just probably Ubisoft doing Ubisoft things, really.
The reality of Ubisoft and how they have done as a gaming developer for the number of years that they have been active. They peaked a number of years ago and they have been going down ever since. They have just not been doing well. They really need these two games to succeed, and right now it looks like one of them.
There is a potential from a market aspect there as well for, you know, to see this as some sort of local bottom. You're getting what looks like a lower low here. You know, you might see a run up and get then a higher low and, you know, form some sort of bottom around these levels here, and it kind of act as like back testing these kind of previous levels and then rising back up, potentially, at least from a market standpoint. So obviously this is not great for Ubisoft, but you know, I could see this as being a potential market trend reversal at some point. It just obviously depends on what they do and the overall global market as well. And as well, if you look at a lot of this is post 2020, a lot of this downtrend. Obviously, it started a little bit before that, but a lot of game companies have been struggling post 2020 at the end of the day because, you know, I don't think they're highly desirable investments since the pandemic, really. You know, that's where everybody wanted to be investing. It was around 2020 because a lot of companies were expanding and making a lot of money, weren't they? So it was inevitable that we were going to see some, but this is a pretty shitty freaking structure over the last few years, that's for sure.
That might do well, but considering all of the controversy, Ubisoft being a very crappy developer, their employees being woke as heck, promoting Sweet Baby Inc-like tactics, lying, stealing, copyright infringement, all of this nonsense. I'm telling you, something bad is going to happen to one of these games. Right now, it looks like Wars Outlaws is not the most appealing game right now. I really do feel bad for people who have pre-ordered this game and all of this gameplay, which from...
So you should stop pre-ordering games. That's one thing I've stopped doing myself. The only time I ever consider pre-ordering a game now is if I have to get access to a beta I really want to try. But even then, I've kind of stopped doing that now as well. I just don't pre-order games anymore, and I think, you know, just don't pre-order them. Make them work for your money. Make them launch the game, and then, you know, we'll probably get better games launching as well then. Because if I can make a bunch of their money beforehand, what the fuck? What's the point? You know what I mean? Why the need to make such a good game if they know that you're going to buy the game from a bunch of trailers? That's all they've got to do then, is have really good marketing campaigns. That's why they spend so much money on marketing nowadays.
What I understand is very close to the finished version of the game is already riddled with so many problems that make the game almost virtually unplayable. I mean, really,
Again, from what I've saw, I thought the game looked kind of cool. Some of the stuff I've seen today is an issue. I'm definitely going to have to look at more gameplay. And I am kind of sad that if that is the case, because I was hoping this game was going to be something fun to play, and I was looking forward to playing it. Again, I'll have to watch some gameplay because I did want to get it, and I was thinking about streaming it as well. Maybe we still will, even if it's dog shit, you know, just for the funs.
You go only 5 or 10 feet in this game, and you're met with NPCs that don't even see you until they're right.
Yeah, those NPCs were really bad, though.
PC requirements. Wars Outlaws recommends 3060 Ti for native 720p, man. Just so you can have stormtroopers be rendered perfectly as they shoot next to you, behind you, but never at you, and they can't even see you. But you know,
it's kind of canonically correct in a way, though.
what game isn't having this issue? Black Myth Wukong. This post from Pirate Nation is very interesting. Black Myth Wukong's graphics settings leaked. Quote, the performance of Black Myth Wukong on PS5 by leaker Lunatic Ignis. 1440p to 60 frames per second, 2160p to 30 frames per second. You know, this game was reported to have that de novo security system that actually messes up the game's graphics and optimization. But from what people are saying, the game is still really well optimized. But you know who else is using de novo?
Yeah, but these don't mean shit until people actually get their hands on it, though, you know? Again, there was people saying that, to play devil's advocate there, oh man, the new Star Wars game's amazing, comparable to Red Dead Redemption, the combat's brilliant, so, you know, a leaker just saying this now, I'm not saying that they're wrong, but I think one person potentially having a good time with something in maybe a vertical slice of a game is not indicative of how the game's going to run in general, and I think more people need to get their hands on it first. But yeah, it's another sign of the times, isn't it, man? Games coming out from the East seem to be
Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws. Yep, they're using it. And right now, it looks like this game that has had a crap ton of money thrown into it is still poorly optimized. But Black Myth Wukong, a game from China, which is, by the way, very highly anticipated on Steam and PS5 right now, even with
And I think as well to say like that again from China, as if, well, it ain't got any sort of funding behind it. Let's not pretend that there's not massive money going into the Chinese gaming industry now. Like, you know, it's not like there's some indie startup like, oh, look at these guys, man. They're making it on a shoestring over here. It's like, come on.
With Denuvo, it is still having wonderful performance results. It's going to run very smoothly on PS5, and it looks like it's going to run smoothly on PC too. It also is much more anticipated.
Assuming this
than
person's
Star Wars
correct in the
Outlaws, which is
overall
looking to be an
aspect of
absolute
things.
mess in the coming days. By the way, this game, okay, I'm not talking about Black Myth, I'm talking about Outlaws. Outlaws comes out on August 30th, all right? That is very soon, 25 days from now. And right now, people who are a month out from seeing the game that they just paid a crap ton of money for, they are seeing gameplay that is turning them off. And I've already...
Well, I'm sorry, but if they did that, that's their own fucking fault, really. You know, that's their own fault. Like, if you bought the top edition and you've put the money down already, and, you know, a few months before the game comes out, then I think that's on you, man. You know what I mean? It's no different than spending a lot of money in a gacha game and then whinging that, like, you know, you haven't got what you wanted, if all the games dying or them ending service. I think that's, you know, take some responsibility. Like, you shouldn't be pre-ordering a game for 100 quid before the game's out. Unless it's something like a special edition that's got a cool figurine. Like, in the past, I've pre-ordered like Call of Duty versions to get like the freaking the fucking remote drone and you know, the Witcher to get the Geralt statue, which I then broke, and that broke my heart. I can't, dude. I still have nightmares about that. Absolutely gutted that I broke that. But for me, that was worth it because it was like, I'm buying the figurine more than anything. I've got the game. That was when I bought the PlayStation version of the game. I've got it on PC anyway. So it wasn't about the game. It was more about what I was getting with the game. And I don't judge people for that at all. I'm not judging people for fucking pre-order what the fuck you want. But I can understand it when somebody's like, you know what? I'm going to spend 150 quid on this game because I'm getting this really cool, unique figurine that's going to be really rare in the future. And it's someone that I want to collect. Have at it. Just don't pre-order a game before it comes out, and then, you know, in my opinion, I ain't gonna listen to you whinging that, oh, the game's trash. It's like, well, that was your own fault, wasn't it?
Already said in the past that even though pre-orders may seem high, a lot of people could backtrack on their pre-orders. All right, they could cancel their pre-orders, especially if word of mouth gets out about how extremely underdeveloped the game is, how strong Whammon the main character is, and how little these people.
That's the one issue I don't really have a problem with, this strong Whammon. Don't get me wrong, a lot of that shit gets forced into games now, but the idea that you're playing as a female character and that can knock out stormtroopers, I ain't got a problem with that, man. You know, I really think that's kind of a reach, in my opinion, just to, you know, oh man, another game with a woman in. I don't give a fuck about that, really. And I'm not saying that a lot of games don't force that shit on us and it gets really fucking annoying, but miss me with that.
People actually care about developing a game that matters to the people who've been supporting them for so long. While the media goes out.
Oh, can I just say, these things are disgusting. I just tried this Galaxy Triple Treat Fruit Nut and Chocolate. It's fucking vile. Oh my God.
Out of its way to fabricate any kind of positivity that they can muster for this absurd game from an absurd game developer that has all but embraced DEI and ESG for the foreseeable future. We have other outlets who are actually giving their honest opinions, not just saying, oh, Star Wars Outlaws, you know, it's pretty good, you know, it could make some sales. No, these people are being honest about their experiences with an actual game meant for actual players. Black Myth Wukong is the best playing Souls-like since Sekiro, bro. That is like the best compliment to give a video game like Black Myth Wukong right now. Because
see, this is where, like, now I'm not saying the person's wrong, but this is where, like, I have an issue sometimes where people listen to journals, because you had journalists on one side going, oh man, Star Wars Outlaws is compatible to Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a fucking wild take. But then you've got other journals saying Black Myth Wukong is the best playing since Souls-like since Sekiro, and people are like, oh man, that fucking hell, it's got to be good then. But when the other journals say that stuff, they're like, fuck off, you know? Which I think it's evident that it's not going to be like Red Dead Redemption, so I think it's fair to mock that. And maybe this is not so evident, but, you know, I think this is why you shouldn't just listen. Just fucking stop listening to journalists as well.
because Souls-likes are becoming
Whether they confirm you bias or they don't, just stop listening to them.
immensely popular. My 2-hour hands-on preview with gorgeous new Souls-like Black Myth Wukong had me despairing one moment and then celebrating the next. Oh man, I bet Ubisoft wishes so very badly that they could get good words like this, that they wouldn't have to just pay people with Disneyland trips and monetary compensation and Star Wars alien creature plushies and all of this other stuff that they are forced to do because so many people do not want to play this game. And the only way that they can get people interested.
See, I disagree with that as well, though. I do disagree with that. I think this Star Wars Outlaws is going to sell like hotcakes. I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to play the game because it's Star Wars and visually it looks good. There's going to be a shit ton of people who are going to buy the game and probably a lot of people who potentially have fun with the game. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to be anything special at all. It's probably going to be quite mid. And even the people who enjoy it and buy it are probably going to be like, yeah, it's no Red Dead Redemption. But the game's going to sell well, man. And I think there's a lot of people who do want to play the game. You know what I mean?
Interested in it is to coerce influencers into saying something positive about it. So will Ubisoft go kaput? Will Assassin's Creed Shadows succeed? Will Star Wars Outlaws succeed? I guess we'll find out in under 25.
Now, I think critically, there'll be a lot of issues where people will go, you know, like a lot of other Ubisoft games, but let's not pretend that Assassin's Creed Shadows isn't going to sell big numbers. It is, man. It is. And so is Outlaws as well. They're both going to sell big numbers.
Days, and that is all I've got for you guys in this video today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you haven't had the chance to like it and share it with your friends, that would be awesome. And hey, if you're feeling ultra spicy, consider subscribing to my channel so that you're always up to date on what kind of thing I've got going on. I look forward.
All right, it's a good video. Not going to lie, a little bit stretched out. I'm going to subscribe, though, because it was a good video. I liked a lot of what he had to say. Show me some stuff that I was like, okay, that is trash. But yeah, I think it's cool to hate on companies like Ubisoft. Now, I'm not saying it's not valid. I'm not saying it's not valid. You know, companies like EA, Blizzard, Activision, they've done plenty of things that it's okay to point the finger and go, ha ha, fucking hell. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think sometimes it's kind of this culture now where it's like, oh, it's cool to poke fun at them and then, you know, compare them to other developers all the time and be like, well, these guys are going to do an amazing job. And we don't know that with Black Myth Wukong. The game does look amazing, you know? But I think just to say, well, one guy said it's going to be brilliant and believe him. But then when a person says something good about the thing that you've already got a bias towards it not liking or thinking it looks kind of crap because it comes from a company you're not a big fan of and going, well, they're obviously lying. I think he's a little bit showing your bias. I'm not saying any of it's wrong because at the end of the day, I think the game will probably just kind of mid, you know? I hope they fix some of those issues with the AI because that was really bad. Some of those animations were poor. I think they're picking apart where the stormtroopers ran past the character hiding behind a crate. I don't get that. Lots of games do that. What do you want to be in hiding and constantly having enemies be like, there he is? It'll get frustrating when you're trying to do content at the end of the day. Like, I just think that'll be annoying. The whole season pass, dog shit in a single player story game. Absolute dog shit. The old strong whammer narrative is a little bit overplayed out sometimes, in my opinion. When it's forced and they're constantly going on about it from an almost activist standpoint when you hear it from the developers, fair enough. Fucking annoys me. It's like, just fuck off with that shit. But I don't genuinely mind a character kicking the shit out of stormtroopers and she happens to be a woman and she's got a small frame as well. Because if the character had a big frame, they'd be arguing, well, she looks butch. Oh, look at this here, man. I can't make a character look like a real woman. You know, I think they're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't with those sort of things. I play gacha games, man. Like, I've got characters running around in scantily clad outfits, fucking shooting fire at monsters and beating the shit out of characters. Like, I don't need that level of reality from my game, you know, where it's like, well, my character's only 5'4" and she's about 100 pounds. She couldn't knock a stormtrooper out. It's like, you know, at the end of the day, the game's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be super realistic. But, a lot of the points were valid, definitely were valid. But yeah, I just think sometimes, I think, and I don't get me wrong, I agree with a lot of that sort of stuff. All the sweet babying shit, it's trash. The way that a lot of games are like meddled with to appeal to people who are not even going to be playing the game. It's super frustrating. At the end of the day, most games are played by young, straight dudes, and I'm not saying that's all of gaming, of course it's not, but it's a large majority of it. I think sometimes developers do seem like they actively go against their audience in a way, in almost an attempt to change their audience because they believe it's the right thing to do, and it's just dumb when you're running a business. But at the same time, I think sometimes people do pick fault at things where it's just like, I don't even see that there, man. Just because it's a female character in the game, you know, I'm not even assigning that sort of motive behind it. A lot of the things that they said were the strong woman stuff. I didn't see any quotes. I didn't see any evidence that came from the developers. So, you know, I wouldn't lean into that too much or take too much from it. But yeah, I think the game will be all right, man. I think it'll be pretty mid. And I think it'll sell really well as well because it's a Star Wars Ubisoft game. The same way this Black Myth Wukong will probably sell pretty well. And this will probably be critically acclaimed more. I just think it probably will. But I think Assassin's Creed will do numbers as well. They just will, man. You know, they're going to be popular. They're going to be popular, especially amongst all your normies, you know. You know, your dad who doesn't spend much time on YouTube because he's got 2 kids to look after and he works 45 hours a week. He's going to come home and be like, new Assassin's Creed out, banging, downloading it, you know? Oh, that Star Wars game. I like Star Wars. I'm going to download that and I'm going to play it. And I think you're going to have a lot of kids who are just going to play it anyway because it looks cool, you know? Exactly, Neil, exactly. So yeah, like... that argument that, like, she's got a small frame and she's taking down stormtroopers too easy. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. It's not really a gotcha if you ask me. Not really a gotcha at all. All right, let's check this out, actually, because somebody...
The NTE developers just...
Okay.
What up, gamers? It's Kaido. I wanted to talk about...
Oh my god, dude, I'm getting multiple videos. Stop! All right. What are you doing anyway, though, Neil? Welcome to the stream, buddy. Yo, have you blacked any of Delta Force yet, cheese? Or has it even gone live yet? Yeah, I agree with that, Neil. Like, don't get me wrong, you know me, and I know you as well. Like, there's a lot of stuff in the gaming industry that deserves to be called out, and it's like, okay, stop with this forced bullshit. But at the end of the day, I think sometimes the people who think like that sometimes want to see a problem in everything. Oh, there's a woman? Oh, no! You know, it's like, come on, dude. Wait, she's too small and she can beat up stormtroopers. What? She's like 90 pounds, bro. She knocked him out one punch. All right, let's make her look a bit more manly. What happened to the pretty women? You know, I think to a degree, it's like, come on, man. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Now, the complaints about the season pass and the AI, valid, totally valid. But anyway. Let's check out this video from Kydro. Clubs and jobs in the NTE confirmed, as this is my most anticipated gacha game coming now. It kind of was Project Mugen and Azure Premilia, but this has definitely taken the top spot for me now. I'm really looking forward to this game, and I'm hoping it's going to be big and it's going to be enjoyable. And as somebody who likes Wuthering Waves, and I think it's the best gacha game out right now, I hope this gets even better and usurps that position for me potentially, because I just want better games at the end of the day. But I'm really looking forward to it. So let's check this video out from Kydro. Should check him out to make some good content. I've watched some of his videos before. I'm not subscribed. Let's change that right now. Let's watch the video.
Okay, the NTE developers just uploaded this developer interview. We're gonna take a look at this chat. Say
Okay.
hello, YouTube. Let's see what
Hello,
Hotel Studio
YouTube.
is cooking up.
Hello，大家好，这里是 Honta Studio。我们的新游戏《异环》终于要和大家见面了。在首播视频中，
Hopefully you
我们
guys can
放
see
出了
that.
一段实机演示。
I'm not reading it.
想和大家来聊一聊这段实机演示背后的开发。
Okay.
第一站，我们将带大家来到海特洛市。
So is this the playtest then? Because they're talking about the demo here. Okay, dude. This game looks great, man. Like, I'm so hyped for this game. I hope it's a banger.
这是一座庞大、集合高尖科技与最新潮流，同时又极具生活气息的大都市。其意象管理和异能利用都走在世界前沿。作为游戏中我们第一个
I
遇
like
到的
that they
城市
keep us
它包含
updated.
了
Did they just say first city? As the first city we encounter in the game. Okay. Well, that makes sense because, you know, most gacha games tend to have zones and new areas. So it's all... so, with the city that we're in. Oh, that's cool then, dude. I didn't really think about it like that. I just kind of thought about it as that being the one city, which is kind of a naive way to look at it being a gacha game. We're going to have expansions on the world. So the city we've got now kind of looks like a coastal, urban city. And we're going to see, like, you know, like cities that are potentially up in the mountains, cities that are out in like I don't know, the jungle or whatever, cities out on the water. Oh, the potential for that's actually really kind of interesting, actually.
They keep us updated with the game. Good stuff. Keep it up, keep it up. Do we see something new? This looks old. We've already seen
Really
it.
explore, okay.
悠闲的公园、繁忙的货运港口、热情宜人的海边沙滩，还有动物园。
Busy cargo ports. I wonder if you can actually do anything. I wonder if you can actually go in the water. That'll be interesting if you can. As well as zoos and museums.
博物馆，海特洛的各个城市设施都将为我们提供广泛的探索和互动机会。
Extensive exploration and interaction opportunities. Good. Because this is what I was saying when we first watched the initial gameplay launch. That a lot of these places need to be, you need to be able to interact with them. You need to be able to go into them and give something to the game. The city needs to feel alive. And as a gacha game, I'm not expecting that to come from necessarily the NPCs and interactions with those. It's not going to be GTA. It's not going to be Red Dead Redemption. But give me places to explore, places to go, places that make me feel like I'm in a living, breathing city, kind of like how Yakuza does it. I love that sort of stuff in that. So yeah, man. And obviously the vehicle customization as well looks friggin' awesome.
Exploration and interaction opportunities. Now we finally get some gameplay mentions. Because I still don't know what this game is about, chat. This looks like a whole package, but the direction is all over the place. It has everything, but it doesn't have like a direction where it's going. Is it?
I think that's probably a fair statement. I wouldn't say it has everything and it's trying to do everything. It just seems like to me it's an open world urban game. And instead of having mounts how you did in Tower of Fantasy, you've got vehicles that are part of that now, which get you about. I'm guessing that you're gonna have fast travel. I'll be curious about that because too much fast travel will negate the car travel option, but not having the fast travel in a gacha game will be kind of frustrating. Maybe make sure that specifically for certain daily instance content where you need to get mats and weeklies and all that sort of stuff, have fast travel points so you can just get there and quickly do it. So you're not having to drive around the city all the time because that would probably get a little bit annoying. But at the same time, you don't want everywhere being a fast travel point because then what would be the point of the cars? But then at the same time, if you don't have everywhere, people are going to get annoyed with the open world. Again, we're speaking about this with open world gacha games. It can be a negative sometimes. But I'm really interested in, again, about in the car.
The farm game? Is it, do we grind for gear? Is it just a social game?
I think it's safe to say that we're going to be doing the typical gear farming, weeklies, dailies. You know, the mat grind is probably going to be real. Of course, we don't know that, but I think it's probably safe to say that that's the typical gacha experience now, because unless you're going full on social, which this game definitely doesn't look like it's doing, you kind of need those elements to encourage the weekly cyclical gameplay element to a gacha game, don't you?
Where we drive around in a city. Is it a racing game? Because there's fighting, there's racing, there's open world, there's houses you can buy. It's like all over the place. I'm looking for the gameplay loop. What do we actually do? We are focused on creating a more immersive and deeply engaging open city. Nice, nice. It's centered on detail. Wait, what?
Dude, I love the comic book style effects on the attack animations. They look so good.
Too fast. In-depth gameplay exploration is the focus, rather than simply expanding the map and scenes, striving to make more realistic.
Okay, I like that. I like that because I was talking about this again in the problems with open world games in general, and that do you remember for quite a few years we had this it was almost like an arms race of our maps so many kilometers big, and then the game developers would come out and compare it to previous games maps, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger till we were like at the Just Cause size of maps. They were very vapid, you know, there was just empty spaces in between points of interest, and it really just didn't feel engaging or immersive or enjoyable even. I am definitely interested in the idea of going a little bit smaller, potentially more vertical, and a lot more detailed and in depth, and a lot more things to do in a smaller space. Obviously, big enough to feel that it's an open world and explorative, if that's the right word, a place that you feel like you can explore, but dense enough as well, which you need to be a little bit smaller to do that, don't you?
Dynamic. Ouch, that's loud. In this seemingly peaceful city, there are many unusual takoyaki, nice. An otter with a TV for its head. I've not seen this. Is this a ZZZ reference? Actual ZZZ reference?
在打扫卫生，这些就是这个世界随处可见的意象，它们存在于各个地方。
The animated? What did you say?
So like the anomalies. So this where these are not. Can everybody see the anomalies? That's what I'm interested. Or is it going to be like a thing where the people that you're playing have some sort of special ability to traverse the paranormal realm and see the paranormal things going on? You know what I mean? Or is just everybody going to be able to see them? Because I kind of like the idea that not everybody can see them, and you kind of like slip in and out of this paranormal world, and only certain people, you know, can be involved in that space, because it would add the extra element of these characters being a little bit special and why they've got these powers as well, wouldn't it?
These are the anomalies that can be seen everywhere in this world. Okay.
My thing is, what I was curious in regards to the gameplay loop is how will combat go down on the regular? Because what we saw this peaceful city that you're traveling around, and then you go into this like sort of paranormal realm to engage. Are you going to be just traveling around and then combat happens on the fly? Or is it always going to be kind of sort of semi-instance where there's certain spots that it becomes like paranormal? We obviously saw when they were driving around that like freaking Ghost Rider character came out and you had to chase them down. But will that happen around the world when you just traversing the world, and will being in a car negate that happening, you know what I mean, kind of thing, like when you're on a mountain, a lot of games you don't engage in combat. I'll be curious to see how that kind of works. I think that element will be really interesting in regards to how interesting the world is as well, and actually fun it is to get about. If there's no combat going on when you're traversing the world like that, apart from specific areas, it might get a little bit boring, Andy.
各个地方不同的意象在形态、能力、生活习性等方面截然不同。 有的意象可以和人类和谐共处。
So they're actually friends.
Okay.
There's some friendly ones as well.
That makes sense. That's pretty anime, isn't it? When you have a world that's got creatures that are usually antagonistic, there's usually a few that tend to be quite friendly with characters and will attach themselves to characters because it's cool at the end of the day, isn't it?
所以大家在享受都市生活之余，也要留意身边随处可见的。
Okay, so while enjoying urban life, be mindful of the anomalies around you. So there is the potential that it's going to kind of happen on the fly then? Okay.
像哦，不过也不用太过担心，来自意象。
Don't worry too much.
Here we go. Espers from, what was that? Espers from the Bureau of Anomaly Control. So they are people who potentially can see the, well, obviously they're going to have powers, but I'm guessing, can normal people see them?
Too much. Okay, so they're like defending the city from the monsters, but they also use these monsters.
Okay, so you might encounter Natalie and Hankaku Street struggling against an anomaly. So you are going to see something going down on the fly then. Okay.
和他并肩战斗，泯除异象，或是遭到伊波恩古董店古灵精怪的宝物捉弄，被他的鬼浪丸吓一跳。
Oh, they give us the names from the characters.
你也可以搭一次9元
Can
小姐
hitch a
的
ride.
体验一下他送集单时的车技。是的。
Wait, does this confirm like a taxi or whatever? Taxi service?
I think a lot of this is just dev speak, to be fair.
That we can jump in someone's car and stuff?
It might be like a that potentially might be a way fast travel works, that you can hitch a ride and it takes you there kind of thing, you know what I mean? That might be a way it works instead of actually going to like towers or beacons or whatever it might be.
在海特洛市的各个区域，在这座都市，各式各样的餐厅、便利店、游戏厅、俱乐部
Restaurants, convenience stores, arcades.
Okay.
Arcades. Wait, that's new, right? But we did not see any arcades. Wait, and clubs.
I don't think they're going to show off everything, are they? You know, because that would kind of spoil it. So obviously, I'm guessing the arcades are going to have like little mini games. That's cool. And I wonder if the clubs are going to have kind of like some QTE dance stuff. That'd be pretty cool as well. You know, I'd like to see some stuff that's kind of like. I feel like there's some stuff in this that's going to be quite Yakuza inspired.
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm
actually huge.
down for that.
We're
down
able
for
to
that.
Visit clubs. Wait, what are we gonna do in clubs though? Hello?
Well, you're gonna choose your waifu. You're gonna get drunk, and you're gonna get your back door smashed in the toilets, ain't you? Really, that's what's gonna happen.
Dancing? Is it like TUF club? Because TUF actually has a club. Wait.
I didn't know that.
Wait. You can run your own shop?
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Wait.
So I wonder if that'll be like the running your own shop will kind of work like, you know, when you send characters out on assignments in like Star Rail or in Genshin where, or like in Zenless where you've got the shop and that becomes a thing to earn a little bit of extra stuff, that running your shop will be a way to earn in-game credits or potentially extra materials and stuff like that. You'll be able to assign characters, you know, like your roster of characters. Say you got your roster of characters, you'll be able to assign like whatever character to run the shop today. And there might be, and if you've got multiple shops, it only says one, but maybe if you've got different kind of shops, different characters would have a potential stat boost in regard to working in each individual shop, maybe.
Hey, this is huge news. What the hell?
并在任何一家商店挑选商品进行交易。你还可以自
Select and trade items. You can also run your own
自己
shop.
的商铺，负责进货。
Managing inventory, pricing. What
Okay, that's kind of insane, man. That's like they're going to a full-on like sort of sim level thing there. Interesting.
the hell? This game has everything. What is happening?
My worry is if they try and do too much of all that sort of stuff, they are going to spread themselves too thin and they'll be very vacuous mechanics that are just like, well, why is this here? You know what I mean?
定价、安排促销等
Daily operations like promotions.
商铺的日常运营工作。
That makes me think that it is going to be something like assignments, where you'll be able to set things to do over a 24-hour period, and then you come back the next day when you log in and you've gained either credits or some kind of material back from it.
通过合理的管理策略，
Smart management strategy.
Okay,
Wait,
so you
is
can
it now
increase
a
your shop's
store
profits.
simulator?
Interesting.
What's going on?
Interesting.
You can increase your shop profits. Okay, that sounds kind of fun, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
you can
cool.
have
That
your
is. I
own
like
shop. You can buy a house. You can buy.
I'm definitely okay with an element of sim life added into a game like this. I've got no problem with that at all. Of course, if the rest of the gameplay loop itself is fun, having those additional things, that's definitely cool in my opinion.
Cars. All right. It kind of makes sense now, yeah.
No Shenmue forklift racing, no boy.
自己的商铺收益。你也可以选择不当老
GTA
板，而
RP
在
You
其
can
他
also
的商铺
choose
中打
not
工
to be a boss and work part-time in other shops. Interesting. So, when you're working in, is that going to be like real time? Are you literally going to be walking around and serving customers potentially? I feel like that'll be probably, you know, not as big as what I think it's going to be. It's probably going to be you work in another shop, you're in there for a few seconds, a customer comes in, you sell an item, you potentially do that for like a couple of minutes kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's more just like almost like a mini game.
赚点零用钱。当然，赚了
You can have a part-time job in other stores. What? So you actually have a job?
The money you earn is yours to spend
So you
freely.
actually have to work.
Well, I fucking hope so.
That actually, the money you earn is yours to spend
到
freely.
的钱都将由你
Do we have
自
to
有支
pay
配
rent
海德
too?
洛士会保护每一位
I would imagine so. I would, well, actually, I don't know. Potentially, though, you know, it seems like they're going into this sim sort of thing. So maybe that's why you'd need to do that sort of stuff, because you're going to require to spend money, because you might get benefits from having an abode. So you have to spend a little bit of cash, but you get like stat boosts from it or something. Maybe you get like well-rested benefits from staying at your place overnight when you log out or log back in, and having your job will like allow you to pay for that potentially.
市民的劳动
Do we
所得
pay
为了
rent?
享受丰富休闲的都市
It's
生活，
waifu
可以购
yakuza.
置房产。
Okay,
We
we
can
can buy
purchase real
houses.
estate.
We knew
So with this as well, you have your own private space. Can you purchase real estate to be like a real estate mogul? That would be kind of cool, dude.
that.
无论是城市公寓、豪华别墅，还是海景
You can have a seaside place
suite.
as well. Nice.
Or a city apartment luxury villa. So we have multiple options
还是海
to
景套
buy a
房，
house.
你都可以通过购房中心来购买。
Not even going to say anything. English is obviously not his first language.
But sadly, we don't see any new gameplay. Could they just give us some gameplay? Also, we see some changes you could do with the interior.
Oh yeah, as well. Look at this here. Like obviously we've got internal, but does this look like you can actually change the layout internally of the building? Are these just going to be floor plans, or is this going to be something that's more manual that you can control a little bit of? Like, you know, you can actually adjust these manually in some sort of like tile setup like editor, whatever you want to call it, or are these just going to be like maybe floor plans that you can potentially unlock throughout the game? Either's kind of cool, but it looks like, you know, you've got like things like obviously a piano here and different kind of like styles for your bedroom, dining table, your exterior, your pool here and all that sort of stuff. This is all kind of cool though. I'm liking all this sort of stuff.
Look, you can like change some of these things. You can change even the different room layout. Interesting. $500,000. That's cheap. I wonder if you can play the piano. And you can choose interior, furniture, working life, and then working game, yeah.
Okay.
We've created a variety of vehicles with different
functions. Interesting. What do they mean by that?
functions. You can drive cars. Motorcycles. Motorcycles confirmed.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
We see the motorcycle in the trailer, but we don't see motorcycle gameplay. But there's other vehicles as well. What do they mean, chat? Motorcycles, cars, and...
Are all vehicles going to be accessible? Because it looked like you could like rob vehicles by the looks of it. Yeah, are all vehicles going to be like, can I just pull over here, run over to that van and just jack the van, you know? And just start driving around in like a sandwich van or something like that. I want to be able to do that, man. I want to be able to like straight GTA this shit, you know? Pull up the traffic lights and just carjack a mom. You know what I mean? Just kick shit out of her and drive off to go fight ghosts. Like, I'm here for that.
What is the third one? Trucks? With the support of the new engine, the vehicles in the game have realistic driving effects.
The driving doesn't look bad. I wouldn't say it looks realistic. It looks a little bit... I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what the right word is, but I don't know if realistic is what comes to mind when I saw it. It looks quite arcadey and quite stiff as well.
Each vehicle offers different handling
But
experience.
not bad. It doesn't look bad at all.
Very cool.
This was really cool, the first person though.
Causing damage with physical effect and hitting obstacles. We've seen this.
Okay, is the damage to the car?
AI. The game has AI. Or what? Allows
Wait,
city
I think he's talking just about the NPCs, isn't he really there?
residents and NPCs to simulate realistic driving behavior. Interesting.
Okay then, so you just make sure avoid all the women, otherwise you're gonna get fucked up.
Wait, what? Responding to emergencies? Does this mean like the police and stuff is coming? If you be
So I wonder if that means then that NPCs are going to be like kind of like in GTA, you know, that people are going to get into scuffles potentially. You know, when somebody gets knocked over, ambulances are going to turn up to like revive the person or stick them in the back of the ambulance or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be one thing that'll be really cool in terms of, you know, when you're just exploring and doing things, to give you that extra element of just like you know, when you're kind of just chilling on the game, of just like kind of going around and getting into some carnage, watching stuff happen in the city. If it actually, I'll be interested when the game comes out to try some of that stuff, to sit around and watch and see what happens in regards to like the NPCs going about their life like that. You know, I don't know, maybe try running somebody over if we can. I don't know if we can yet, and then see what happens.
If you're like a troublesome citizen. Of course, this doesn't stop players from drifting and speeding. To feel the thrill of speed and excitement, okay? Also features many car modifications.
I hope the modifications do genuinely affect the handling as well. Not just in terms of speed, but, you know, braking, cornering, all that sort of stuff, drag potentially, acceleration, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm probably thinking a little bit too deep into it here, because obviously it's probably not going to have gear changes, but it's going to be automatic. But, you know, maybe potentially, you know, altering gear ratio and stuff. I'm thinking way too deep into this.
Shops. We've seen this. We've seen this. Make your vehicle stand out. Makes sense.
So it looks like we've got, obviously, we've got body kits, we've got front bumper, rear bumper, spoiler, rims. So it doesn't look like we've got any side kits. Well, I don't know, though. This could be potentially just for this car. There might be more for different cars, potentially. So we've got a spray job. I don't know what this is. Anybody know what that could be? Looks like we've got potential changes for the drivetrain. Would we be able to make cars like go four-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, adjusting that sort of stuff, diff and everything? Looks like we've got some sort of engine stuff here, so we can maybe uprate the engine overall. This looks like potential gearbox stuff, I think, yeah. And then brakes as well. So maybe I wasn't thinking into it too deep then. I think potentially these things will just affect overall speed, but it'd be kind of cool if you could change actual like more specific elements of the car's handling, won't it?
Yeah, we got like this stats system here. That's quite in-depth, it seems like. You can change the stats of your car with all these tuning stuff. Interesting.
I wonder how many different bumpers and kits there are for the car as well. Is that what the car's called as well? A Geed RB02.
So
dude, that taxi looks like a Jetta, man.
This is probably a big part of the game. Please have faith with us. With the technical support.
Okay, so the game is running on Unreal 5. We kind of knew that anyway, didn't we? Interesting. I don't think we've saw any sort of road layout like this in the game, have we? I wonder if this is just like a demonstration to use as a model for the AI to kind of like work on, maybe. They do really like the Porsches, don't they? Like, so many Porsches. Here's a taxi that looks kind of like a Jetta. I'm curious as well, because it's so far, the variety of vehicles seems quite slim. But obviously this is early. That's the sort of thing that I would expect to change later, and I don't expect too much of it now. But I've definitely noticed that.
Unreal Engine 5, PCG processor. Wait. What was this? Is this actually in the game?
Procedural building. Like that's interesting. Now, I'm always torn when I hear procedural building. I don't know if that's going to be any sort of like procedural generation or what, or it's more regarding the cars, because procedural generation's good for scale. And I guess stuff kind of being, not infinitely, but you know what I mean? Like a lot more of a thing being created. But when with procedural generation, typically comes things looking really not very good and very similar. You might get loads of things that are slightly different, but they kind of look the same, don't they? I'm not a big fan of the modern procedural generation that we get in video games nowadays, because it tends not to look very good at the end of the day.
It's huge. What is this? Procedural building system can speed up the production efficiency.
Okay.
It's like Project Mugen. They also use this technology, right?
Okay, so is it like basically reducing texture resolution on stuff when it's not needed, and then procedurally building it up when it is? I'm just throwing that out there. I'm dumb. I'm not a game developer, and a lot of this just sounds like jargon to me. But interesting.
Is Project Mugen also Unreal Engine 5? Urban ecosystem, high efficiency and quality.
Okay, they've obviously listened, because a lot of people were complaining about the character design, weren't they? Me, personally, I quite liked a lot of them. A lot of people were saying that they didn't like the way the faces looked, and they wanted a bit more animated faces, which I kind of can see they do. But so far, I kind of like the look of the characters, I did personally. But again, I'm easily pleased.
Supported by Nanite Virtual Geometry System. The polygon count of character modeling has been greatly increased. Holy moly.
Hey, they know what they're doing there as well when they're showing us the polygon count, don't they? Respect, lads, respect.
Insane.
Western devs could never.
Could you imagine trying this on your phone? Hey, who knows? Maybe it's gonna be optimized. Confirmed for console, PC, and mobile. Okay. Daily essentials of life. Bustling traffic.
We'll be able to use the public transport as well.
To create a stage where dreams and reality intersect, so that every player who comes to can find their own joy.
I don't know how to pronounce the name of the city either as well, dude. I am still really curious to see how the minute-to-minute combat gameplay loop is going to work, because we saw one element of that, like I says, when we were traversing the city and we go into that alley and it goes like kind of almost like we slip into another dimension, or we're just seeing the supernatural surroundings, and then we go into like that school and all that sort of stuff, and then we come out the other side. But I can't imagine it's all going to be like that because that was almost like kind of like an instance, wasn't it? So I'm really curious of like, you know, okay, right, I've got a quest, it's over here. I need to go to this particular area in the city. You're traveling there. Are you going to encounter like monsters just like hopping up out on the fly? I'm curious to see how that's all going to happen because in an urban environment, obviously it's going to be a little bit different because this city's kind of living, breathing, you know, are the monsters just running around creating havoc all the time or what? I know we got that explanation if you might see another character kind of fighting an anomaly and you could choose to help them. But I'm curious to see how that is going to work. Is it always going to be like you're going to see another Esper fighting supernatural stuff, or they're just going to pop up and it's going to be kind of like a little warning where it's like blurp, 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 anomaly detected, and he's like, boom, you're going over and fight them kind of thing, or what?
We look forward to the meeting you all soon. Okay, I've not seen anything new, chat. Okay, we actually learned one thing. You can run your own stores.
We didn't see anything new, but we did get some comments regarding stuff coming to the game that we didn't know about. We didn't know that we could run our own store. We didn't know that we could work in other stores. There's arcades, there's dances, there's clubs. We've obviously got a little mention of how combat potentially could work in some regards. I like the idea that we can work in stores and we can run our own store. It seems like the way they were describing it seems kind of in-depth. The car customization, because we got a little bit of a look at the car customization there, and it looks pretty in-depth for this sort of game, considering it's kind of like a secondary thing, really. I wonder if it's just going to be all just stats, though, and it's just like a way to upgrade your mount, and that's all going to be attached to not the gacha system, but, you know, like a mats farming system as well, which I would think it probably is. Or is it just going to be all based around a credit system? It did look like it was all credits when we were looking at it, not actually like mats. Like, you know, like there's a mat in the game where it's like gearbox parts or pistons or whatever it might be, and you need those plus credits to start, you know, upgrading your car, if you know what I mean.
That's new. And that you can get money by, having a store, and you also have a job. Also, we confirmed motorcycles. That's good. Other than that, not much new, sadly. Not much. But it's good that they actually keep us updated.
I think they said a lot without saying much, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe I'm just glazing them a little bit because I'm really looking forward to this game, and so far everything I've seen about it is kind of making me excited. I might be glazing them a little bit, but I feel like they said a lot without saying too much. The game developer jargon, didn't understand any of it because I'm a dummy. But other than that, I'm really, really interested in this game. I'm looking forward to it.
They should definitely make this at least every month. Give like an update to the game. Talk to the players. They've been doing a fantastic job already. I'm definitely hyped for this game. It's just...
I think the only problem with doing that, it's good for us, obviously, but I think sometimes when developers do like a monthly update like that, I think sometimes they can get too wrapped up in making sure they're getting an update out and giving people new stuff all the time, that becomes too much of a priority, and it pulls people away from actually working on the game, because they're like, right, we need to show all this stuff off to the player base each month, that it kind of detracts from the actual game development. I'm really curious as well to see if there's going to be actual real car damage. Obviously there's like light destruction in terms of you can hit like bollards and it looks like lampposts and stuff, but I want to know, can you run people over? I know that's a real fucked up thing to say, but if you're going to allow me to drive around in an open world city, I want to have the freedom to like splatter people. Now that's kind of fucked up, but I kind of get annoyed in games where, you know, when you mount the pavement and everybody jumps out the way, they turn into Spider-Man, like, you know, the Spidey senses are tingling, they're like, oh! I want to fucking run some people over, man.
And what this game is about. Do we have equipment system? Do we build our characters? I know we have a job now.
I'm going to guess that there is some system like that, because how would this game necessarily work if it's going to be a gacha game? How that system's going to actually be implemented? You know, is it going to be through, well, you've got your Esper ability, and he says you've got these supernatural powers and stuff. So I would imagine there'll be something regarding that, whether it's going to be gear that's considered like clothing or hand pieces, chest pieces, or it's going to be some sort of thing that allows you to connect with the supernatural world that you'll upgrade, and that'll be all part of it, and weapons and stuff. It will be interesting to find out about.
Oh, we have to work.
I would imagine though, you know, it's probably safe to say that we are going to have gear, because I feel like a gacha game without a gear system would feel especially a gacha game that looks like this and seems to be set up like this, would be a little bit odd. And I feel like it'd lack a lot of complexity and layers to it then. So I think it's probably safe to say that that is going to be a thing, but obviously I'm just pulling that out my ass.
Now, life simulation. What is up with the fighting then?
Just notice that on the map. What's that there on the map there? To the right? It's obviously like a POI. Is that like a clock tower or something? Looks like that's where a marker potentially.
Do we earn money with fighting too? Do we earn money with racing too?
I think racing will probably be a good way to earn credits, won't it?
I still look forward to this. This could be quite good. I think this is a huge project, and this can be very good if they do a good job.
I agree.
It just depends on the gameplay. If it's going to be fun to play.
It really does. It does depend on the gameplay, the story as well. They need to smash it with their voice acting and the characters and the characters' story arcs. But of course, the gameplay loop is key. For me personally, I think the combat looks decent. Could do with some tweaks, I guess. But I'm really excited about this game. I am really excited about it. I think out of all the gacha games, it is definitely my most anticipated one.
Then people will play it. Makes sense. It looks like every gacha player's dream.
If you build it, they will come.
I was dreaming about such a game. I always wanted something like this. A GTA with anime waifus. Always something I wanted to play. Not
gonna lie, it wasn't something I always wanted to play. But now they've showed it to me, I'm like, yeah, I do kind of want it. Okay, just paused here. You guys couldn't see what I was saying because of my camera. Hold up. So you've got all the different car things here. Like, it looks like the drivetrain, engine, gearbox, brakes. I was saying, watch this, but it looks like it's potentially like a sticker layout thing. Livery, potentially. You've got your paint jobs, you've got your bumpers, spoiler, rims, drivetrain, engine, gearbox, brakes, and this looks like the livery. Okay, all right. Okay, cool. I wonder if different cars will have different amounts of ability to put kits on. Like, you'll actually put full side skirts on, engine vents, all that sort of stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
And we might get this very soon. I'm looking forward to this.
Yep, agree. Good video, actually. I know it was just reacting to somebody reacting to this, but yeah, man. Kydro TV, should definitely check him out. I am very much looking forward to this game. I'm actually genuinely excited. I think out of all the games, I'm looking forward to this the most. Azure Premier League looks good, but it's another fantasy open world game. I know it's got its differences, but that kind of takes it down a little bit for me because we've already got Genshin, we've got Wuthering Waves, not to say it won't be good. But this looks cool, man. This definitely looks cool, and I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, Horror Cook on this one. But yeah, check out Kydro TV. Show him some love. Watching this while pulling for Nola. Lost all 50-50s, came here, won the first one. Hey, it's what I do, man. It's what I do. You know what I mean? I win my 50-50s, and when you watch me, you win your 50-50s. Just saying. It's a skill difference, man. Skill difference.
So recently I made a video covering some...
Okay. Nice one for banning that as well, Jamie. So good to understand people reviewing driving physics from the chase cam. True. Feels like that game's definitely got some inspirations from some of Shenmue and some of Yakuza, though, in regards to where they're adding the sim element to the RPG side of the game, which I'm all here for. I'm all here for that. All right, then, check this video out from Kazahana. Is Wuthering Waves actually being sabotaged? Is it now? I don't know if this is regarding to it being taken or the revenue being taken down off iOS. I don't know if the game was actually taken down off iOS for a period of time. You should definitely check out Kazahana, make some great content, reacted to a couple of his videos, and enjoy the videos he makes, actually. Really like his content. Just check it out.
So recently I made a video covering some emerging information about HoYoverse. And pretty much what I said in the video was that MiHoYo were actively kind of telling voice actors not to go voice for games such as Snowbreak.
Okay. Right. Okay, I know that we heard that, I don't know if this was directly coming from Hoyo, but some voice actors in the space. We watched another video talking about this, didn't we? That definitely were making statements that was kind of telling people not to go and work on games like Snowbreak because they were considered a vile fan service that were just too sexualized and that people shouldn't be working on those sort of games, which is totally okay for somebody to not want to work on a game like that. But I think trying to tell other people not to work on a game like that is kind of sus, and you really shouldn't do it. Let people work where they want to work and do what they want to do. If you don't want to work on it, that's fair. But I didn't know Hoyo were actually involved.
Great, and also paying a lot of talent to go over and play Genshin Impact and other MiHoYo games rather than play the competing games like Wuthering Waves. Now, in that video,
which I don't blame them trying to outspend the competitors, the competition. You know, at the end of the day, it's a business. If they're looking to try and hoard all the VAs, you can't really be mad at them. At the end of the day, it just depends on sort of contracts that they might be giving out to these VAs that are kind of like dodgy, that stops them being allowed to go and work in other places potentially.
It was pointed out that there was a lot of mistakes and a lot of stuff that I forgot to include in the video. So in this video, I'm going to be going over everything that I kind of missed and showing you.
Okay, respect it.
A lot of the
I didn't watch this video.
But I think it's important to say that you have to take a lot of this proof with a grain of salt, because this has been a Chinese piece of text translated by a Japanese person, which has then gone over to me, an English person, which again, something.
Okay, so it's safe to say that he's probably fucked up totally then, yeah?
Could get lost along the way, or maybe this person could be translating it incorrectly on purpose. We never know. It might not be on purpose either. So a lot of the information that I brought up in the last video and in this video could be completely wrong. And I definitely want to make that clear so you don't get any like the wrong ideas about a lot of these companies. Obviously.
Okay, then, if this is the case, probably not going to react to this video then, because, you know, I think it's all just assumptions really, isn't it, based off very little. So we'll leave that one.
Twist of events.
Hold up a minute, Chatterooski. Oh, let's watch this.
Okay, guys, we're back inside of the first Descendant, and we have got...
Man, that was hyper. Alright, I want to watch this. Because, yeah, fuck that. Yeah, let's check this video out then, because I've watched a few Descendant videos. We made a couple of videos talking about the game as well, the first Descendant. A game that I actually thought was alright. We did a video on whether it was overrated. I don't think it is, because I don't think many people are giving it massively, like, insanely glowing reviews. I just think a lot of people are saying the game's kind of fun, and it is what it is, you know. It's a kind of average sort of looter shooter that is kind of a little bit, looks like Unreal 5 slop. That's not a bad thing against the game. It looks okay. It's kind of generic. But let's get into the video. The first Descendant issue, a huge warning. This one is weird. All right, then.
Okay, guys, we're back inside of the first Descendant, and we have got so much to go through. It seems that the comment section...
Hold up. Yeah, okay. Bitrate just looked a bit asin.
Of most videos with the first Descendant now are going on about the Steam charts and how we've lost such a big part of the player base. Well, I'm here to...
Okay, I'm interested to see this, because the last video I watched, the game was sitting at around 150,000 players. I think its peak was around 250,000 or something like that. So to be holding around that, and I don't know how far this was after launch now, I'll have to jog my memory. I don't know if it was within like the first week, which I thought, that's not too bad, really, considering. But I think it's inevitable that these sort of games are going to lose a lot of the player base. And for me, this game is quite repetitive, so I think that's inevitable even more so.
To shut that one down for you guys today. An enemy that is the most annoying in hand, and Sharon apparently had some secrets tricked up her sleeve. This one is going to be an incredible video, and hopefully you do enjoy it. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. On top of that, if you haven't, make sure that you do, because we're going to get involved involved with the giveaway. This week we are giving away an Ultimate Descendant. Don't panic, we give it away in gift card format, so if you don't want to spend it on a Descendant, you don't have to. But it's the money equivalent to the same in caliber, just doesn't sound as effective, does it? Nonetheless, if you want to get involved with that one, it's really, really simple. Head down to the comment section, and we're going to kick the week off with a peach. Make sure you get a peach in the comment section, because I'm feeling fruity. Anywho, let's get going with this one. We'll give away...
He's not wrong, it's got a little bit weird.
This one and announce it via the Discord on the giveaway announcement sector. You'll find the link in the description. Dude,
one thing I suggest, like, not trying to tell this dude how to make content. He's getting way more views than me, and he's got a way bigger channel than me as well. And I sound like a right douchebag saying things like this. One thing I'd suggest to some people to do, and you might not be getting the most efficient way, but even if a video is recorded in 1080p, just render it out in 1440p, because you get access to the other codec. Even though this is VP09, this just looks a bit, unless it's been pulled from a stream potentially, maybe, because YouTube, if you get decent amount of views, you go onto the VP09 codec, and I think the other one is the AV whatever it is, but that one just looks trash sometimes. I think this might have just been pulled from a stream then potentially, because it just looks a bit muddy, man.
Make sure you jump on over, and good luck to you all. Nonetheless, let's dive on into what we've got going on inside of the game today. So starting off, I want to...
And that's just a totally picky thing from me, because that sort of stuff, I just like, when I see any sort of pixelization in my own videos, I'm just like, and most people are like, dude, it looks fine. I'm like, no, it doesn't, man. It looks fucking shit.
Approach this comment right here, which literally came up around 5 minutes ago, and I've seen it all over my channel just recently, stating, the thing is, it is getting to be a little too late. Look at the Steam charts. The first Descendant has lost over 60% of the player base.
I don't know if that's true. 60%, though, in my opinion, is not that bad, really. It really isn't.
The RNG and the grind are too much, and no amount of titillation skin are going to change. The people are sick and tired of opening 30 to 50 Amorpheuses and still not getting that final piece that they need to accomplish something.
My stuff is 1080p recorded and uploaded. Could I improve that then? So what I'll do is, the way YouTube works, if you upload a video at 1440p, it goes straight on to this codec, this VP09, which is the newer codec on YouTube, which the bitrate, it's just better. So, the older one, you'll tend to, especially on fast-moving gameplay, if you pause it, you'll notice it's quite blocky. It's not a major thing for most people, and most people are watching on phones anyway, or usually sub 1080p displays for most of the time. But I've just noticed that if you upload in 1440p, now it's not obviously the best way, because you usually, what I typically do is I'll take videos that are 936p, and then I'll render them at 1440p. Which obviously is not the best way to do it. You're going to lose a bit there. You're stretching the video out anyway, but it just looks better on YouTube. It just looks a lot smoother and sharper.
On top of that, the grind just to open some of the Amorpheuses at the Void Reactors. Now, this is somewhat true, but in the same breath...
Again, I'm guessing this has probably been took from a stream or something, though, because it just looks a bit muddy anyway, because it's on this codec. Because you can get on this codec at 1080p if you get a lot of views. Or sometimes it's just random.
Absolutely not. If we take a look at the Steam charts right now, the all-time peak was at around a month ago, due to, obviously, it launching with 250,000 players. In the last 24...
Yeah, for me, I don't think that's a bad place to be at. 83,000 concurrent players. Of course, this is potentially just going to keep going down. Or, you know, you're never going to hold that first launch peak on most games, are you? You know, there's very few games that break their launch and continue to grow and just hold insane numbers, you know, like your CSGO type stuff. So I don't think that's a bad number really to be seeing at personally. It's still a shit ton of people.
For hours, we've peaked at 100,000 players. This is just on Steam alone. Bear in mind, it's a free-to-play. It's on both PlayStation and on Xbox, which even if we just take these numbers right here, we're looking at around 300,000 total players in-game.
I'd say that's probably a fair assumption.
Really freaking good. Now, why is it that people think it's dying off? Well, solely because of the Steam numbers alone. Although, the first month of gameplay, we've only lost around 50 to 60%, give or take, of the entire...
Which, in my opinion, is not really that bad at all.
...entire player base just based on Steam. This is relatively normal. A game will launch, will generate the hype around it. Videos will be made. Trailers will come out.
People will try it out. It's free to play as well. People are going to try it out. A lot more people are going to try it out than what they would if it was paid. So that number's going to be inflated. And inevitably, it's going to come down because... And most people are just going to be like, well, I'll try it because it's free. You know, there's going to be a lot of the audience who want to play it because they're like, this looks cool. But then there's going to be those people who are like, not really my bag, but it's free, so I'm going to check it out.
everything everywhere, and then all of a sudden the game's here, everybody plays it, then the people just move on to other games, or they go back to the games that they were playing originally. This is just the way that the hype train works inside of gaming. We see this in every single game that has ever launched in at least the last decade. This is pretty normal, and no, the game is not dying. Actually, this game is relatively thriving. I think this is going to do really, really well, especially with the most recent news with regards to Bungie and what they're doing with Destiny, or not doing, as the case may be. But none.
I was going to say, it's like a hard thing to say whether it's going to succeed or not, or it is really just benefiting coming out at just the right time, you know? That there isn't really another game like it at the moment. That you've obviously got Warframe, but that's been out for a while now. And you've got Destiny, which is kind of like not doing all the right things, and that's been out for a while also. And that the people who typically play those sort of games have been kind of aching for a new game in that realm, and I think this has just come out at just the right time to really ride that wave. How long that will last is obviously a total assumption we can't say. So I definitely think it's getting that like kind of boredom buff in this this genre of games, but will it last? I don't know. But again, like I say, when I played the game, man, it was all right. It's not something that I play regularly because it was just kind of repetitive, and I'm not really a fan of these sorts of games, even though I kind of like the Division and the Division 2, but I think the setting of those games, for me, are a lot more interesting and immersive.
Nonetheless, I think that this game is going to go the distance. It may well even fill the spot necessary in the looter shooter genre, but let me know what you guys are thinking via the comment section below. It's a really I
think it really could if they added more variety in the base quests, in what you're doing on the, like, you know, the general gameplay. And if the game needs to look better, man. And I know it's not ugly, but it's just, again, I think this game's just got that Unreal 5 slop look to it. There are a lot of Unreal 5. It looks like an Unreal 5 tech demo, and make the world that you're traversing more interesting as well. Because unless you're in like a quest, this world feels dead and flat.
Really big discussion, and one that people are sitting on the fence of, either or. And I'm interested to know what you guys are thinking. One thing I think we can all agree with, though, is this right here, with 1.3 thousand upvotes on Reddit stating, name an enemy that's more annoying than this. I'll wait, and no, there is not an enemy more annoying than that. That thing is the bane of my bloody life. They knock you down endlessly, and you get stuck in a corner with two of them. And yes, there's comments in the comment section of that Reddit post that will agree with it 100%. Nonetheless, though, something that Sharon's been keeping up her sleeve, a lot of you guys will just use her for that outpost character, myself included, although this person posted up a 6-second hard devourer. Yep, Sharon's not just an outpost character. Although at the moment, the thing with
those cheeks, bro,
the devourer does seem to be a little bit of a post-nautical thing. This is a big thing that people are trying to take out pretty damn quickly, and it seems that some people are taking out the devourer in like a second flat. It seems a little bit crazy, but Sharon is obviously up there with the best of them and can seriously do some damage with that.
And you got slapped?
I don't know. Let me know if you guys main Sharon, or if you're even tempted to go for it. Moving on to the next part, though, for those of you guys who have been farming endlessly, and that would be pretty much anybody who's been playing the game, yes, myself included. I am loving my ultimate Valby right now. Complete side parting, nothing to do with this topic. Nonetheless, the majority of users on here as of late, the wanting of the Kyle's piece, and they are obviously farming for, doesn't have to just be Kyle, it's with anything in the game, but F this game, I never get what I want. Once they get one piece, everyone got it before me. Oh my god, I'm so unlucky. And now you have 17. F this game, I never get anything else. Let me just explain to you guys.
That's gamers.
The way that this one operates. Once you have unlocked a single piece of this crafting system, so say you're going for Kyle and
does it increase the likelihood that you're going to get it again, or get parts within that set, I guess?
You happen to get the code for it, or you get the blueprint, the moment you go in to carry on farming for that piece, it will just continuously drop it. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? This one's actually quite simple. We know that the game is going to have integrated trading into it, so embrace this to your fullest. You may not want these things right now, but other people will. And for those of you guys who don't know how integrated trading works, it means that there'll be a system where you guys can sell certain parts or even full collections and stuff, and hopefully they integrate that soon. But if you guys have got 17 of these Kyle pieces and 16 people want them, you're gonna see that these go through pretty damn quickly. So stock up on these. You never know how the trading system may work and what you may be able to get in the future that you don't already have right now. Although, one thing I am not liking right now, this one is actually creepy as hell. And if I do see any of you guys in my lobbies actually doing this, then you will probably get banned a lot quicker than you think. But this can't be real. Please tell me this S out the game. I don't want to see.
Oh shit, people are advertising cheats.
And as you can see via the chat, this one is crazy.
Cheats, boosting
as you can see,
cheats,
anyone
really,
want to buy a cute 19-year-old e-girl a skin? That is bonkers. I don't understand this at all. We go through to the next screen and it gets even worse.
What, dude, I was reading the cheapest boosting items goods. I guess maybe I'm totally out the loop here. I thought that was a bit shady. I guess, you know, what's this here? If cute real 21 plus e-girl to carry spawn must be Asian/white.
People are literally just trying to get a hold of some really, really weird stuff. They're saying they're going to carry people for things. This stuff is...
Dude, people are fucking losers, man. Jesus Christ.
Weird. If you guys are in your game and you see any of like this going on, please do not hesitate to report.
I thought he was going to make a point about the boosting stuff there from the Discord. I guess that's not an issue in the game. But people are trying to offer services to carry e-girls. What the fuck, dude? Virgin.
And just make sure that we keep the internet safe. Do not respond to these people in the comment section whatsoever. For those of you guys who are adults, parents, and or otherwise, and have any people that you are supervising and or looking after, and you're letting them play the first Descendant, please make sure you supervise correctly. This is a dangerous game to be playing. It's absolutely insane to think that this is something that's happening inside of the chat of a game that we all love. Because meanwhile, behind that chat sits this guy right here. Yep, get your credit cards out, boys. This one's an absolutely mental one, but it is all too accurate. So please be careful out there, guys, when you are gaming, and if you have got people that you are looking after, aka smaller people of obviously the correct age for.
Hold on, let me just go back.
Please make sure that
was the person asking to carry if cute real 21 plus e-girl to carry? So must be. Are they advertising that they're a cute real 21 plus e-girl, or they're asking for 21 plus e-girls? Either way, it's fucking weird.
It's absolutely disgusting. But I guess when you interpret a large free-to-play looter shooter and incorporate anime waifus in a basis of just actually having no clothing whatsoever, then this is sort of stuff is bound to happen. You'd be surprised at the dark corners of the internet, which has got even weirder things related to this game. Yep, I've seen it on the Reddit. You don't want to know. It got taken down pretty quickly, and I'm freaking glad it did. Nonetheless, make sure you stay safe out there, Descendants, and make sure that you have a load of fun. There is so much going on inside of the game right now, and loads of grinding to be had. Me, myself, I'm going to be jumping back in, and we're going to be live tomorrow on the Twitch channel, so make sure you check it out. We've got the
Alright, cool, good video. Cloud Plays. Dude, the bitrate on that video was trash, though, man. Okay, one last video, then we're getting into it. It's been a while since we watched anything related to Genshin. It's been even longer since I played the game, actually. But I think I am interested to potentially come back for Natlan, even though I'm so far behind in the game. Another video from Koidro TV. Will Natlan save Genshin? Features and QOL, quality of life, Genshin Impact desperately needs. Dude, I thought I'd subscribe to him. What the hell? Alright, let's watch this video then.
Natlan, because yes, we're getting closer to the release of this, and I think Natlan is quite a big deal when it comes to the expectations of the players. For many people, even for me, I feel like this is gonna decide if I will continue playing the game or not. I still have...
I must admit, like, somebody who plays Wuthering Waves now, I'm kind of like, I want to go back and play Genshin, but at the same time, I'm just like, dude, I feel like it's going to really tar the game for me because just how tight the combat is in Wuthering Waves and how enjoyable traversal is. And we know the traversal is one of the freaking most annoying parts of this game, minus the dailies and all the other stuff. You you know, I feel like it's going to make the game feel like a lot less of an experience, but this Natlan update does look kind of cool. I am so far behind in the game anyway, so I need to do a bunch of stuff, but the update does look kind of intriguing. It looks kind of interesting, actually.
Have this, I don't know what I should call it, optimism, or is it just depression, that this game still can
It's copium, bro. That's what it is. It's copium.
Be good maybe one day. I'm so close to quit, and that's why I look forward to Netland and see if they can pull it off or not. Because there's some rules.
Dude, I think that's one of the reasons why Zenless Zone Zero had an insane amount of money being spent on it. Because I think there's a lot of people who are just kind of like apathetic about Genshin now, aren't they? You know, Star Rail's been their thing that they've gone to. But I think probably a lot of people have been like crying out for, I need something a bit more action combat orientated. And obviously, I think you've got some people who are just like complete Huyo shills. Like, hey, it's not Huyo. I'm not doing it. I ain't playing Wuthering Waves. And there's issues with Wuthering Waves that I get, so I can understand some people being like, this is probably just not for me. So I think that's why Zenless Zone Zero did really well on launch, actually, because a lot of the people who were kind of getting bored of Genshin had a new like shiny toy to play with, especially in China. And that's why so many people spent so much money on the game. So I think there'll probably be a lot of people with this level of copium hoping that, please, is this going to be the thing that pulls me back into the game kind of thing?
Rumors going on right now that they actually want to, imagine this, improve the game. They want to add more quality of life. They slowly increased now the resin. They added end game, yes, after 4 years, but it looks quite like they want to improve the game now. So I wanted to talk.
Which is good to see, I guess. They've stretched out this for quite a long time to start doing this sort of stuff. But again, as I said, I think, you know, Genshin's starting to get long in the tooth now, isn't he? The game's been out quite a few years now. What we're talking, 4 years. So it's starting to get into its twilight years. So I think it is time to start adding these sort of things now for the hardcore that are still there. Are going to get those sort of things that make them feel better about continuing to play the game and then potentially pull a few people back for a while. So it is smart to start throwing these sort of stuff into the game now. And obviously, it's just good game development anyway, you know, they make the game a little bit more enjoyable. Take the fucking stamina out of the game as well.
Talk about some things that I want to see in Netland that could maybe make my experience better. I look forward to it, honestly. It looks like one of these anime tournament
You sound so depressed when you're saying that.
arcs. It can be quite interesting. The trailer did not make me as hyped as, for example, for Fontaine. It definitely looks better than Sumeru, I think. You can also see my community tab. I asked the players, which region got you most excited in Genshin so far? And people definitely voted Inazuma as the most popular one, followed by Fontaine,
I liked Inazuma.
then Netland and Sumeru. You can definitely see that Sumeru is just not a very popular region. The player base is quite steady in my eyes. I think it's definitely getting less popular, but it definitely holds its.
Genshin has done incredibly well. I think even if you saw the player base really start to drop off quite drastically now, it's not even a thing that I'll be like, haha, look at that. Look, the game has been insanely successful for the longest time now. You know, a lot of games would dream about being this popular over a period of 4 years time, especially a single player live service game as well. So many developers would chop off the freaking left arm for that sort of success. So it has been insane the levels it's managed to maintain, in my opinion. The game is just a behemoth, isn't it? And it's allowed Huyo to become this freaking huge company within the space now.
Numbers, and I don't think that Genshin is gonna die with Netland. I also know that many people have quitted the game because of Wuthering Waves and a lot of other upcoming games that just put more effort in developing the game.
I'd be curious to see actual player numbers on both of the games. I don't know how many people have really quit Genshin for WuWa, you know? I just don't know. And this is coming from somebody who I think Wuthering Waves is a better game. I just don't know if that many people have. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of the people who are playing Genshin are probably playing Honkai Star Rail a lot now, and then have now probably dabbling in Zenless Zone Zero, and potentially playing Zenless Zone Zero has made them probably rotate back into Genshin. I don't know. I'm just pulling this all out my arse. But yeah, I don't know how many people would have actually done that.
In the game more and also giving more free pulls than Genshin. You can definitely see that here. Inazuma was quite popular, then they added Sumeru.
They added endgame by making the other endgame reset once a month instead of twice. Oh really? It takes 8 to 10 minutes to do. Pretty sure Abyss took longer. More primo leagues. So that's good. That's good.
Sumeru had a huge fall off. Fontaine.
There's one thing Genshin are is fucking tight on that stuff.
Brought some people back, I guess. Right now it's definitely falling down. Netland maybe will bring back some players again. I definitely imagine some of you.
Looks like a pretty typical trend now for a game like this. You know, you're getting these spikes when new stuff's coming out, which makes sense. Obviously, it is kind of trending sort of down, but it's not like drastically down, is it? It's like kind of like, you know like this insane peak initially when it came out, and it's really held some decent levels. Obviously, this is interest. I'd really like to see the actual player base.
So this brought me to this idea. Which things do I actually want to see in the game that would make my experience better? I'm gonna be honest, guys. I just don't have fun right now with this game. It just feels very outdated. Even the
in my opinion, one thing I'd like to see, these are just two simple things. Make the fucking dailies way quicker. I hate the dailies in this game. Allow traversal to actually be fun in the game, you know? It seems like they're trying to do something like that with either like these sort of like mounts in the game or whatever it is they're doing. Sort the fucking stamina system out in the game. Either just take it out the game entirely or just make it so that sprinting doesn't make your stamina, doesn't drain your stamina. I like how it is in Tower of Fantasy as well, that the fact that you're climbing doesn't actually drain your stamina. It's just when you like jump while you're climbing. That's kind of cool. Like, because to me, stamina in these sorts of games is just freaking annoying, man. I don't even know why it needs to necessarily be in the game, really. I understand it to some degree in terms of like maybe stopping you get to certain areas in certain ways, maybe. But yeah, traversal in Genshin Impact feels really like punishing. And for an open world game, getting around feeling punishing is a really bad thing, in my opinion.
Characters, I think, just don't hold up anymore. While I do think that—
and they are super surface level issues, you know, they're very small. And I know there's a lot of people who play the game a lot more regularly that have like, well, dude, that isn't even half of what I want. But I just think that two simple little things that could be changed like that would make a big difference to the game.
Is some hot anime waifus still, and the character designs are quite interesting. It definitely feels like it's quite lacking. Also, looking at the upcoming characters, guys, I'm just not really excited. I just think the overall characters just look quite mid, and there's no—
I think the thing as well, which Genshin's suffering from now, they've had so much content and so many characters that you know, I almost don't hold it against them in regards to characters not necessarily looking spectacular, because I mean, it's got to be hard to design characters with interesting and unique kits and looking kind of unique, but like cool at the same time when you've put out crap ton of characters. It must be really hard from an artistic design point of view. But obviously, when you're playing the game, that doesn't, you're not like, well, I'll let it slide because it's got to be hard. You do want cool looking characters, don't you?
Not really a character that makes me excited, except for maybe Capitano, Captain. I'm quite excited to see him.
That's a cool looking character.
Probably not going to be playable, but let's see, I guess. Yes, not even the Pyro Archon herself is—
now, I've got to admit, she looks pretty fucking fire to me.
Making me excited for this. I think the design is quite a miss for me. It just looks like one of—
damn, man, I'm easily pleased, man. She looks good to me.
These motorcycle uniforms, and they're just put it on her. I think it's quite not that creative.
Hey, listen. I hard disagree. Looks pretty fire if you ask me. Looks pretty freaking fire. I know a few people who only play Hoyo games, Genshin, HSR, and now ZZZ. Yeah, definitely. I think, like, I know I joke around calling people Genshin and Hoyo Andes and stuff, but I agree with that. And I think that they're smart, and I think Zenless Zone Zero was a perfect move for them to make to keep people in the Hoyo-verse. It was really smart for them to release that game, the type of game it is, and at the point that they have. Think about it, they get another game out. You're going to have 4 main titles, potentially. Every single week, you'll have a major update in those games, which will be kind of insane. It'll stop people leaving the space altogether, I guess. This character looks kind of cool, though. Stamina feels like an artificial difficulty mechanic to me. True.
In my opinion, and definitely not for me. But let's jump into the things that I would love to see in Netland that would definitely help with my experience. First of all, we need to talk about the traveling and climbing. I think everything just needs to be faster. Even if it's just a gadget, we get maybe a grappling hook or something. Climbing just doesn't.
One of the worst parts of this game, in my opinion. Now, I know there's other issues, but I just hate getting around in this game. I just said it, so I ain't going to say too much, but it's just a pain in the freaking arse.
Feel good. If you want to steal wall running from other games, I mean, a lot of other games already have it. It just makes the flow of the game better. It just feels fun. I just want to have faster traveling, smoother traveling, and definitely don't feel like punished if I want to climb a mountain or something. While the first Netland trailers and some of the videos...
Punished, dude, when it... Like, it ain't even like, oh, punished, and it's just like, yeah, guess I'm going round. You know what I mean? Or even like, wait a minute, it looks like there's some ledges there that I can rest on. You know, my character can get their breath back. You know what I mean?
I've seen, and probably you guys have seen, definitely gave us to show that they actually know that these are issues in the game. And yes, they're gonna give us characters.
Is this the way they're going to negate it, by adding in these characters, or particular these sort of mechanics to the game where it's like, I don't know, some kind of mount that's going to negate those problems? Which I guess is kind of cool, but at the same time, it could just easily be removed, in my opinion. It could have been removed a long time ago as well.
With traveling mechanics. But then again, you need to equip these characters in your team. And if you don't enjoy playing this character, why should this...
That's true. They kind of do that with like the mining as well, don't they? That's one thing I like about Wuthering Waves as well, the way the mining is. Everybody could just mine whatever. You know, just simple little things like that. Yeah, it doesn't need to be selective or specific.
Person be in your team. Then the only reason why you should have this character is to travel mechanics. This should not be the case. One other thing that is kind of part of it is, of course, the stamina bar. They should definitely remove this from at least outside of fighting. Is it such a big issue? Can you just let us explore? Why do you even make this world so big if we get punished so hard with the stamina? The next...
Exactly. Why have an open world and say, here you go, here's this beautiful sandbox, go explore it, and then you run 7 feet and you're like, you know, puffing on an inhaler. It's like, come on, dude.
Thing I want to mention is artifacts. Still, to this day, they have not really improved artifact farming. Looking at Star Rail, they basically have an artifact selector. You can choose the main stat of the artifact, and that just makes your life so much easier. Please steal these.
I think as well, having the autoplay system in Star Rail just like makes that all a lot less annoying as well, doesn't he?
Feature from Star Rail. So give us an artifact selector, give us some more materials to level up our artifacts, because it just feels like I farm for 1 week and I maybe can level 1 artifact to 20.
This is my issue with Genshin overall. It just feel like they're super tight with everything. Like, that's what was refreshing in my opinion about it. Don't get me wrong, Wuthering Waves has got its issues in regards to like the echoes. And as you get your characters to the higher level, like, stuff can take ages. But it feels like, for the most part, the game's really generous in a lot of things. Certain things they need to tweak, and especially as you level up your account, they need to give you more of. But yeah, Genshin's just always felt super tight in the mats, in the primer gems they give you, in pretty much everything. It just feels like everything's just like, please, sir, can I have some more? You know, and they're like, more? You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man, please.
Next thing is gonna be artifact loadouts. Please just do it already. I just don't want to do it anymore. It's such a hassle every time to swap out 5 artifacts every time. Just give us loadouts so we can actually equip stuff very fast. There's also some other features I would like to see in Star Rail as well. Especially the daily system is quite comfortable. You don't need to go to some person to give in your daily quest. It just feels annoying. Why do I have to go to Kafka and give in the daily quest?
Hate the dailies in this game as well. Hate the dailies.
Just let me redeem my rewards directly here from this menu. That would be such a nice change. There's another thing which...
Like, you have to do that, but then adding to the fact that getting around is frustrating as well. I know you can fast travel, but you've usually got it in an open world game. You fast travel to a point, then there's that little bit of running, and then it's like, you know, I can barely run 12 feet. It's like, it's just like little compounding, like small things, but they compound on top of each other, don't they? And that's where, like, you know, quality of life updates come in. And it's just like, it's weird that it's took this long for them potentially to maybe be coming, even if they do. It's just, it's weird that these little changes have not come earlier on, you know. They wouldn't negate any spending in the game whatsoever, in my opinion. Well, they just
probably
wouldn't.
Not gonna do. Yeah, I must say it. The skip button. Yep. Please, Genshin, everybody needs it, everybody wants it. Please give us the option to skip dialogues. Please let us...
And again, all of these are just like, they're just no-brainers, aren't they? That, like, say, I can understand them maybe not wanting to change certain things in the game that might affect people's spending habits. None of these are those things, though, are they? Like, they're just not, you know what I mean?
Skip story if we don't have time, if we are in a rush, if we are not interested in the story dialogue. Let players decide if they want to invest their real life time, but they're not going to do this. Pretty sure. Next up, I want to talk about co-op, because I think they could actually make it way better. Right now, it feels like you're wasting your time, and you actually are more efficient if you play solo. Every time I play co-op in...
Well, you know the way to get around this is you just don't have friends, and then you never have to worry about that. Life hack, guys, just saying.
Like a domain or something, it takes longer than when I have my full team. Also give us a reason to play co-op, maybe add some more game modes, make people connect with each other. That's
no friends, no problem.
But who knows what they're gonna cook up with in that one. Jumping to the next thing, which is open world activities, because if you watched my last video, I was talking about this, that there's nothing really to do in the open world.
Yeah, the open world, it's beautiful. It's like, it's boring though, isn't it? You know, it's like that 10 out of 10 girl that you know when you're in your teens and you're like, dude, man, she's so fucking fine. And then you go out with her and you're just like, oh my God, dude, she's fucking boring. You know what I mean? Like, she's so boring. Like, this is what Genshin is in that regard. I think a lot of games, open world games, not even just in the gacha space, so from this though, is the lack of enjoyable things to do in the overworld that actually are not just like there for the sake of them, but they're actually there and they make you want to engage with them as well. I think a lot of open world games struggle with this.
I do think in Wuthering Waves it's better a little bit because you can just kill monsters and farm echoes. While this can be getting boring over time, I still think it's more than Genshin has. If you explore everything in Genshin,
I definitely think it is better than Genshin's, but it's still got its issues. And I think as you play the game more, this is where I was saying before that open worlds can like detract from a game, especially these kind of games over time. And that's why it's so imperative to add and keep adding things to the world so it becomes continually interesting to explore and be in, like.
And you're done with exploring the map, you pretty much don't have to go out there anymore. It basically feels like you're wasting your time. Maybe you need some materials for your characters, but that's it. I want to go out there to the open world and do something. It just feels like it's a waste of time. I think they had an interesting idea with this unusual hilichurl. Only the OG Genshin players will know what that is. Yeah, there was like a random hilichurl in the world that you had to find, and there was a chance to get something out of him. I mean, it would be enough if you...
Those sort of things are cool, like, you know, like little loot goblins around that, like, you can chase down, attack, and kill and get a bunch of cool stuff out of. You know, just hard, difficult content that spawns on the map that you can go, almost like world bosses in an MMO, but obviously it's for you, like, kind of thing. Like, those sort of things just happening randomly in the game. And even just, like, little kind of dynamic events as well would be a nice addition, but a lot of those things are, like, too hard work for a lot of developers, aren't they?
If you had, like, random drops sometimes, maybe artifacts that monsters can drop, that would be such a nice thing. It would actually incentivize people to just kill monsters in the world. Even if it's just artifact XP that monsters drop, that would be already enough in my opinion. Also,
yeah, I was saying this in regards to when we were talking about the worst mobs in Wuthering Waves, in the Exiles. It'd be cool if they dropped echo mats or potentially even echoes, possibly. But definitely echo mats to make them just a little bit more interesting to farm and a little bit more a better return on your investment for spending the time on them.
I want to talk about these open world events that sometimes happen. I think these are also a missed out opportunity.
And it would make sense because they're resonators, so they'd carry stuff to level up their own echoes, wouldn't they? You know.
To not make it more fun. Maybe there should be like random events in the open world like Final Fantasy XIV does it, and you go there. Maybe there's even a co-op activator, and
man, we're like so connected right now. We are so connected.
You can do this in co-op, this world event. Imagine this, there's so many possibilities they could do in that plan. The open world events that I've experienced in this game were quite boring. It was mostly like killing hilichurls, protecting a villager. It would
dude, hilichurls are so boring as well.
Definitely help to just go out there in the world and see what's going on. It will make the world just more lively. One other very important thing is the auto looting. It's time, Genshin. If I kill something like this and I have to press F to loot the stuff that he's dropping, that's just so annoying. Like, look here.
That's fair.
You have to press one button for one item every time.
Again, these are all, like I say, the things that are compounding problems with Genshin, aren't they? They're all kind of small, you know, little annoying things that the one thing on its own is like, okay, that's super annoying, but they're just like, they're layering up and compounding. And I think they all really add to taking a lot of the fun away from the game. You know, it all comes down to like the overworld kind of being just a frustration for the game, if you get me. in regards to like the looting, the traversal, the questing. It's all like it's there to just annoy you, but it doesn't add anything to the game in regards to, well, we've added this, so you spend more money, because it doesn't do that. So it's like, it's a weird thing to have in the game.
I just wish they would do the same thing that Wuthering Waves does. You kill something, you get the loot. You open something, you get the loot. Then you have to spam the loot button a lot if there's a lot of loot drop.
This is what I say that I like about Wuthering Waves, that they looked around the space, specifically at Genshin, and like, right, let's do similar things and let's improve on it. And I know that annoys a lot of people. The plagiarism, the copies, but that's what I want as a consumer. I don't give a shit if a game's took took notes from somebody else's homework. If it's better, then I'm all about it. You know what I mean?
Dropping.
All
Sometimes
about it.
Stuff like this happens and it rolls away from me. It literally runs away from you, the loot. If you are like on a hill or something, the loot just drops down there and you have to follow it, and it's just so annoying. I also hope they're gonna make the daily quests more fun and faster. They should just do it like
daily quests are too slow and super boring. They are. I just like quite a lot. I'd get on Genshin. I'm just like, I don't want to do my dailies, and I'd actively just not do them sometimes, which I think in a game like this is definitely not a good thing, because they're the things that are getting you to log in daily, even if you're not going to play the game, and then potentially want to spend later on. So them being really, really annoying is a really bad thing, in my opinion.
Zenless Zone Zero, where you take a picture of a cat and you drink a coffee, open the store, buy a lottery card.
Not gonna lie though, I don't like the taking the picture of the cat thing either. I'm okay with it, and it's a lot easier and quicker to do. I kind of just prefer like the simple daily thing, and maybe just like a quest, like you've got in Wuthering Waves. Go do this quest, you're done. You know what I mean? Go spend your wave plates, you're done. I hate it when there's like multiple ones to do kind of thing. Because it's just like, ugh, you know, I don't wanna.
At the store, and you're already done with the dailies. It's super fast and super convenient. Why do the Genshin daily quests just feel so bad to do? There's probably 100 more things that I would love to see in Netland. Just this game has so much optimization needed. And you can
I must admit though, when it comes to like the podcast stuff as well, when it's like absorb the 3 echoes and stuff, I'm just like, ugh. But that's the podcast, you know, that's because you purchased it and you're trying to level it up. So that's a different thing, you know, there's a bit more incentivization to do that because you've spent on it, kind of thing. Like,
you know in the comments, which optimization would you like to see, guys? I definitely want to try out Netland and see how it is, if it's gonna bring me back fun wise, because right now I'm literally not enjoying the game. Are you excited for Netland? What do you like to see in Netland? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see more gacha content, subscribe, I would appreciate it. Also join our Discord for our gacha community, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.
Another good video from Kaijo. I really like Kaijo's content, actually. He seems like a really chill dude. Should definitely check him out. I don't know why he was saying I wasn't subscribed to him then as well, because I'm pretty sure we subscribed to him in the last video, and I thought I was subscribed to him prior to that. Great video. The things I would definitely like to see: the stamina bar off. That shit sucks. Or at least make it so stamina's not so punishing. Don't make me, like, you know, run out of breath constantly. Take the stamina away from the sprinting at least. You know, I kind of like how it's just dashing in Wuthering Waves. But I'd go one step further and do it how it like is in Terra Fantasy. The climbing literally doesn't reduce your stamina unless you're like jumping when you're climbing. Maybe give you some tools to get up walls and stuff, because traversal sucks in Genshin Impact. And then obviously the dailies just blow as well. Like, I think I'd go with those two really for the primary things to fix for me, in terms of like small quality of life things could be tweaked really easy. Because I think there's nothing worse than having an open world that's just not enjoyable to get around in. It's like having a driving game where driving's just unfun. Who wants that? You know what I mean? You just don't want that. So an open world needs to be fun to get around. If you've got a gorgeous world, why not make it so it's enjoyable to explore? Yeah, great video. Will Natlan save Genshin? Not that Genshin needs saving, but I probably will check it out when it comes out. I've got so much to catch up on, but it does look kind of cool, and the characters that seem to have like mounts, that's kind of cool, but it's like you've got to have the character, so that kind of sucks at the same time, and that makes me think that they're not going to remove some of the stuff I'm talking about because they're adding it into characters. It's like, hey, you can remove that stuff if you get the characters, which is kind of shitty, but that's kind of how Hoyo do things, so it's not surprising. But anyway, check out Kaijo TV, show him some love, deserves a lot more subscribers than he's got, makes really good content, and I enjoyed that actually. Should we play some games then? Let's play some games. I see what you guys are saying. It seems like WuWa, the do nothing contractors say just do your job as well, providing low pay, no benefits. Kuro is more like the foreman who works for you. Yeah, well, Kuro was smart in the sense that they know that they're like the new guys on the block, and they're trying to, they're trying to court people in, aren't they? Which makes sense because, that's good business. Like, say, if you're not first, you need to be better or cheaper, don't you? And they're trying to be better and cheaper, I guess, in that sense. I wouldn't even, I'd expect Kuro to be kind of how WuWa if they were in their position. It's just how things are, aren't they? But I'm glad that they're not. And they are doing the things the way they're doing. 3.5 starting 1.2 confirmed. Yeah, I think we made a video on that. Did we upload that? I think we did, didn't we? Might have gone up yesterday on the channel. You just did your daily in WuWa. You haven't spent your wave plays yet, though. What would you say the average player age is for these types of games? I don't know. I'd say... I don't know, really. It's hard to say. I'd say it's around, like, late teens, I would think. In my opinion, you're saying 12 to 16. I'd say it's probably more like 16 to 22 sort of age, but then I see a lot of people online who are making content on the games tend to be 20 plus. I don't know, really, if I'm honest. I really don't know the demographic. I don't spend that much time in many game communities anyway. That's why I don't know who the fuck's playing the games, if I'm honest. I just know I like anime. I like big titty waifus. And the game looping some of these games is actually kind of fun. 18 to 30, do you reckon? Yeah, I reckon they're like at least older teens. And I'd say, really, if you're looking at your free-to-play players, potentially younger, but I think if you're going to look at your low spenders and whales, then I think you're definitely looking at your 20 pluses and into your 30s because of the people with expendable income, aren't they?
Authorization success.
It's people with a little bit more disposable time. Yeah, and disposable income as well. I've met many people with children who play Genshin. Well, I think just when you end up having kids, I think you tend to game less full stop, don't you? Ooh, what's this? Oh, is this the degenerate shit that people were talking about? Play beach volleyball. Okay. Adventure feature locked. I need to unlock it. Dude, titty game is strong. Titty game is strong, lads. You know? I like this character design, actually. Oh, you said you just pulled, yeah? Okay. Okay.
Oh, looking for trouble?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, looking for trouble? The bike's loaded up and ready to go. It's gonna be a crazy ride, so hang on tight.
Beach volleyball 43. So I cannot play any of these. Complete the, what was that? Complete the main story mission. Enter the network. What's that? Enter the network. How far do I have to get into the game to play beach volleyball, man? Join friends to the game and claim rewards together. How far do I have to get into the game to play beach? I want to play beach volleyball, bro.
This is what I call a vacation.
She eating, she got a dick in her mouth.
Would you like to walk with me under the beautiful moonlight?
gotta stay well protected from the sun.
This is definitely aimed at you, like your 28-something dude who works in IT, who hasn't got a missus, though, isn't it, you know? Got a decent amount of cash to spend, yes. You know? My taste is changing as I age. I'm moving away from deep, lengthy games in recent years back to the sort of stuff that gaming offered me when I was originally got into it, quick fix kind of stuff. I get that, especially when it comes down to time. I think my, I tend to like ebb and flow with my taste in gaming, you know? I think obviously as you get older, your reflexes slow down, so competitive games become a little bit harder. Or I still seem to have it at least with shooters for the most part. You know, I'm not as good as what I was, but I still feel like I can hang. You know, when I play things like Valorant, when I actually put my time into it. So I'm looking forward to Spectre Divide and some of the extraction shooters. I've been enjoying those. I think in terms of first-person shooters, my taste changed from like enjoying arcade shooters like Call of Duty to going into more tactical, competitive kind of stuff that takes a little bit more skill and forethought. And I think in terms of other games, I'm kind of going back to like what I was when I was a kid. I'm going back into like, I just want to play like RPGs and stuff now. You know what I mean? I mean, that's why I've been getting so much enjoyment out of gacha games now, because they are just RPGs at the core of it. At least the good ones are anyway, with gacha systems attached to them. But yeah, I tend to like ebb and flow, like, you know. Let's go. I can get lots of stuff to claim. There's lots of stuff to claim each day. I don't know if that keeps up as you continue on, or it's just early reward stuff, like early player rewards, like, you know what I mean? Excuse me. I should do a couple of pulls. Hey, what's going on, Amran? Oh, let's go. The Pummeler. Weapon looks kind of dope, though, actually. It's not really a question of time. I have spare time. It's just everything seems to want to be massive these days, which is fine, but I lose interest quickly. I feel you there. I'm like that myself. Like, that's why I tend to buy a lot of games and not play many of them. Because I'm quite quick. I become quite quickly disinterested in games, if I'm honest. Depending on the game, of course. I'm usually quite easily pleased, or to keep me engaged for a period of time definitely is takes a lot more. Again, still now over my lifetime, the most I've probably put into games is like games like Call of Duty back in the day. Most games I will, I'll go hard into a game. Like, this is where I think like I have got ADHD, like undiagnosed ADHD though, where some games I'll just go hard for them for a little bit and then I'll just quickly get bored. Like I overwhelm myself quickly. Or games where I'm like literally like loving it for the first few hours and then I just totally drop it because I don't know why I lose interest, if I'm honest. Hey, sorry, can I see your dorm system? What on the game? Am I on Twitch? Yeah, I'm on Twitch as well. Am I getting Nora? People were saying to, is that the, oh, that's the new banner, yeah, actually. Okay, maybe, yeah, because people were saying save for the new banner. Is it Nola I'm after? Yeah, Rumble. Looks like a kind of badass weapon, actually. Meryl, Tsubasa, Kokorita, King, Shiro. I used Shiro in one of my thumbnails the other day, actually. Should we pull on this one? Nora. Oh, okay. So not... Which one am I looking at then? Am I looking at a different banner then? I mean, saving my asteroids to the temples. Yeah, I haven't got really many pulls at all. I don't know if can I change these into pulls, these. Whatever they're called. Dark crystal. Redeemable items in the store. Why does it seem so muted when you listen to these? Nanyin's weapon, purple bamboo, is exempt from the permanent choice weapons pool. Get bonk, lad. Get bonk. Get bonk. Yeah, what's up, Kirkins? Alright, should we, is this one we want to be pulling on then? Let's have a look. Yo, we just whipped out a fucking motorbike. What's your weapon, bro? A bike. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. This game's so goofy. It is, man. I love it. It's jank as well, but I love it. So, is this the banner I want to be pulling on then, Nyan? This is the one, yeah. Actually, I want to pull on that because I want a fucking bike. I want to smash people with a bike. You know what I mean? Why not? Let's go. Nora's a future-proof choice. Am I looking at the wrong shit then? Still don't know what I'm looking at in this game, you know? Is her name Nora or Nola? I was supposed to be pulling on that. I pulled on that, didn't I? Dumbass. This one's got Nola, not Nora. Did you say you lost yours to Humor? Okay, so I'm on the right banner, yeah. I'm on the right banner. Okay, cool. 2 seconds, boys, and I'll be with you. How's things as well? Anyway, though, Kirkins, you're a good dude. It is kind of anticlimactic, isn't it, though, over there? All the characters used for a long time, though, power creep is less extreme. Yeah, I was going to say, I heard that with this game that the power creep initially was really bad. It does need to be a little bit more impactful, doesn't it? Okay, I don't have anyone left, do I? Spend Dark Crystal to buy 100... Is that Dark Crystal? Is that what that is? Dark Crystal. Okay, so I can get what? 10 pulls then? Fuck it. Ass. We got a copy of her then, didn't we? Or the weapon, should I say. Is it just the one perps? Ooh. The Terminator. Okay. Alright. Hilda and NA? Sweet. Alright. What are these? Exchange for limited edition weapons converted to black gold in equal value or after limited order is over. Okay. Let's go back and do this to see if we can get another heals. Yeah, dude, for real, animation's far too long for a balloon. It's definitely more, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, more, fucking intense than like, Zenless Zone Zero, because that's just lame. But yeah, it's a little bit drawn out. Right, so this is pulling on the matrices, yeah. Okay, okay. So this is pulling on the weapon. All right, cool. Just so I know. I did 2 of them, that's all I got. So what's this? Is this a ranged weapon? These things are kind of cool as well. Yeah, so this has got S and B, but that one's got like a double A on that one. I kind of just want to see what it does. I've got a motion blur on. Attack something. Let's go. Big enemy cannon. Like some kaiju number 8 shit. Yo, I need to shoot someone. There's a bear. You can have it, bear. Can I charge it up for a big boy attack? I can maybe switch that in for the bow, yeah. Potentially. I know I shouldn't, but it's a big fucking cannon, man. Like, come on. I got to, you know? I got to. Gotta be done. You know? Come on, boys. Gotta be done. Have I got any matrices that I can put on my other weapons yet? I need to unlock some more matrices.
What? A new command? Are we starting a new journey? Medical unit is ready. Do you need my help? Please look forward to my performance.
Oh, we got... Oh, we... Wait, when did we get her? When did that happen? Don't level them too much. I won't go any further than that. I don't want to waste stuff. Let's go update the situation to Franz then. Where are we going? Let's do it. Get that downloaded. Going.
I shut off the Omnium Tower and Banges, Franz. Got any news on Zeke?
Franz.
They went to Cetus Island in Navia, probably seeking that neurotic Dr. Claire. That woman was a researcher for Hykros before feuding with higher-ups over some issues and striking out on her own. She single-handedly built Cetus Island and created a bunch of weird dolls, then started her research in hiding. Yeah, another scientific weirdo.
I was thinking, why don't you have some basic menus and daily quests? And I guess they've changed it in a way that you get it in via a story. Might not be that important if you don't rush anywhere. You got your pummeler maxed.
It wasn't seriously
Yeah, that
hurt,
pummeler looks alright,
but what
actually.
happened to Theo traumatized him emotionally.
Thinking I might switch it out for my spear. I
Mr.
don't know.
Commodore said he's very grateful to you, and that he's too ashamed to see us. He can't forgive himself for
Oh, I
what
just
happened
unlocked
with
her, yeah.
Theo.
Okay.
People always come to their senses only after doing something foolish. Colador needs time to repent. Hope that will be soon. This place can't run without him.
Are you leaving?
Yeah, we still got business to take care of. We can't stick around. Let's split up. You take Cetus Island. I'll go back to Hycros and see if the higher-ups can help.
Alright. Cedar Island, and he said, leave through the accidentable bandages.
Dr. Claire served as a high-level researcher for Hycros. The research results were widely used in the early development of smart servants.
Is this like just like the podcast or some shit?
Did Dr. Claire make you too?
Retrieving records. Me. Data lost.
Me data
Unable
lost.
to retrieve Mia's original record.
Don't you want to talk to the doctor?
Negative. Records show that Dr. Claire has a strange temper. I do not wish to engage her in conversation.
Yeah, fuck that bitch. Oh, actually, what's this here? I got mail. Ooh. Let's go Gamba, boys. Should we go Gamba? Let's go Gamba. Alright, let's go Gamba. We're gonna have to do individuals, yeah. Gamba time. Purple. Ooh. Is this Nightingale's feather? Okay. Blends perfectly into the gloomy nights. Let's get a chemical imbalance in our brain, boys. Come on, let's get an addiction. Fackle. What's that? Oh, just heal me or something, huh? If I need healing. Let's go. Yeah, dude, I don't know how people play games on phones full stop, especially action games. I just more power out to the people that can do it because I can't. Catcher's got you by the boo boo. I'm sold on that. I'm sold on that, boys. Oh, shit. I like that you don't lose stamina when you're climbing. It's good. You know, it's nice that is until you do a little jump like. Genshin could never.
Log. See this island located. Searching for path to approach island.
Is that gonna
Let's check out what's under the island.
Freaking Ferris wheel up there, boys. Oh, I got hit. Dude, was he in Metal Gear Solid music ready kicking then? What's that? Nice. Common natural phenomenon. Most of the shell of self-replenished lava comes from deep underground and originates from decaying molten magma and radioactive substances. Stick our hand in there then, eh? So what else could happen? I need to pray to the Almighty Space for joining tonight so I can hopefully get Marina signed to get annoyed.
Excellent! We'll split the loot! 70-30.
That's not very fair, is it? 7:30.
Would you have found a way to get up there if it weren't for the 2 captives?
Targets confirmed. The Ravagers and the hyenas.
Do they have more information? Who goes there? We've been spotted! Run!
Oh wait, what?
Why aren't you stopping them?
What am I doing?
My boss is looking for me. I need to go.
Slow down!
Should
I can't run anymore. Come at me!
Should you get around little legs, bro?
I'm not with them! Don't hit me!
You're not with the hyenas?
No, it was those
Short
Ravagers.
and ginger.
They were going to wreck the island! They forced me to join them. They seized the landing station, and that's all I know.
Fine, you're free to leave.
Thank you. I promise that this won't happen again. I'm going home now.
Suggestion. We should notify those on the island about this.
Okay. What are you doing? Ooh, chesticle. I picked up some manga the other day as well. Some more manga. Yeah, let me show you actually. Yeah, I picked up it well. Also got me the Promised Neverland, which I've already watched the anime. Well, I've watched the anime of all of these, but she got me that. Good Promised Neverland is, I like it. One for you as well, Neo. I decided to actually get the manga for 7 Deadly Sins. Started reading it last night. Only got the 1, 2, and 3. Got the omnibus though. You like my bookmark as well. And I got solo leveling as well because I fucking love the anime. We got the game as well in it, so I thought, you know what? This one's coloured as well, which is nice. Which is nice. Thought I'd just show ya. I need to sort out all my comics as well, actually. What are we doing here? Okay.
Warning, unidentified personnel is following us.
Who's that?
Target lost. Attempt to locate again.
Did they just vanish? See if they can keep up with us on a bike.
Target found. Identifying. Target lost
What the fuck
again.
is that?
Let's hide and see what he's going to do.
Oh, look at this for a hiding space. This is a good spot. Yeah, stupid. You big fucking dum-dum. Gotcha.
Big fellow. Missing. You're not calling me big fellow, are you?
No. No hit Mellow. No hit Mellow.
What is your name?
Guessing it's Mellow.
Mellow. It is Mellow.
Why are you following me?
Ahead. Danger. Ahead. Bad guys.
Ahead. Bad guys. Noted.
Bad
Okay,
guys.
this would be an annoying conversation
Mellow
between these two.
and Hana. Mellow. Ouch. Bad guys. Captured. Hana.
Hannah? Was she with you?
Hannah. Yes. Hannah.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Ahead. Bad people. Watch out.
Warning. Hostile target ahead. Careful.
Is Star-Lord one of his? Like a weird, like, I don't know what it is when they're tracking in this game. Like the horizontal, weird.
Big
I
fellow.
don't know how to describe it. It just feels a little bit jank.
Mighty.
Should we go find Hannah?
Hana. Nowhere. Mellow. To the island. Report. Doctor.
Get help
Okay,
from
I
the
hate this
doctor?
character.
Not a bad idea. We're looking for her too.
Dirigible. Safety rating low.
Dirigible. Will fly. Mellow. Fly.
Okay, let's do this.
I thought I was in control then. I need to do my dailies on WuWa as well.
Mellow, is the dirigible really safe?
It's a bit late now.
Safe. Dirigible. Fly. Slow.
It should be fine. But what happens when the enemy
Look at
catches
the
up to us?
size of my tits, bro.
Dirigible. Fire. Hit. Bad people. Bad people.
Ridiculous. What the fuck? Oh shit. Fucking go, boys. I like how they're just appearing out of nowhere. Not even bothering. Let's have them fly in. Nah, it's just something spawn. Fuck it. Have a little spawn animation, potentially. Nah, let's make them appear. One thing I'll say about this game so far, in terms of like variety of the actual combat mechanics and movement, it's probably had more variety than the other games. Now I know there was a shooting thing in WuWa, but it was quite a few hours into the game. Booby XP maxed out, right? Got that Ariola buff. Min-max the shit out of him. Oh shit. Oh fuck, we're right back on the floor again. We're lagging like crazy as well.
Ship lost. Are you okay, Mello? Language. Ship.
Just lost the key. I'll try to find it. Do we have to? Kind of melody doesn't talk. Is he supposed to be like Pinocchio or something?
Mello, out.
Diagnostics completed. Mello, back to normal.
Dirigible, broken. Bad guys, broken.
Yeah, it's better. Can we take his chip out, please?
Any other way of getting on the island? Dirigible, another one. Bad guys, stole. You mean there's another balloon, but the bad guys stole it? Do you know where to find it? Dirigible. Don't know. Bad guys. Over there. Okay. Let's go teach them a lesson.
Face. Kick him. Face. In there.
Ahead. Bad people. Watch out. Over there. Big person. Danger.
Let me go all fat danger, huh?
Great! Big fellow. Mighty.
No, not about that.
Too bad the dirigible isn't here.
Went down pretty easy if you ask me.
Big fellow. Behind. That bad guy. Hit Mello. Bad guy.
Oh, is that little shit?
Hurry. Catch him.
No! Run!
Just let me go.
Was he even like a zombie as well? Mello?
No! Run!
What are you doing? Okay.
Don't you come any closer!
Did you not intend to retire home, Black Dog? Why are you still here?
I forgot my luggage. Yeah, luggage! I'll go as soon as I get it.
Hannah! Where?
Hannah? You mean the other kid? She was, taking the base too. Oh, that's where the dirigible is too!
Recording. Please elaborate the exact coordinates of Base 2.
Just follow this road. Please, let me go. I've told you everything.
Leave, and don't let me see you again.
Spulders? What are spulders? Is that like the shoulder? What's going on, Tegsy? I'm enjoying it so far. I am actually enjoying it.
Hannah? Hannah!
Where's Hannah?
Found! Hannah!
They got Mellow and the dirigible is lost. What am I gonna do?
Hannah!
These puppets.
Mellow found! Hannah!
Oh, these Mellows are annoying though.
You're all right. I barely got out and was just about to go find you.
Hannah, don't cry. Hannah, get big fellow. Help!
Big fellow? What are you talking about?
He's misgendering me.
Who are you? Are you here to help us? Hello, Hannah. My name is Mia. We are here to see Dr. Claire regarding important issues. That makes you our guest, then.
Big fellow, mighty, big fellow, can help.
That's rude, Mellow. It's not big fellow, but honored guest.
Mellow.
I'm ignoring you now, Mellow. May I ask you for a favor, honored guest?
The most important thing is that we recovered the dirigible that landed on the island.
Those scoundrels dragged the dirigible into their stronghold, and the place is swarming with guards. Hana will go ahead to verify the situation first.
Did you see the what's it's Neo that I showed my recent manga purchases? Check it. Yeah, Sticks does have a hate boner for this game. I kind of find it funny though, man. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I picked up the omnibus. It's 1, 2, and 3 all together. I'm gonna get the others next time I
Your
go.
own food.
I picked up solo leveling as well because the anime's dope. And Rosie bought me The Promised Neverland last week, which is a good anime as well. Yeah, I was gonna say so far, like obviously I'm early in the game, so I'm like kind of in the honeymoon period, but I'm enjoying it, man. You know.
What's the situation in the camp?
It's full of those bad guys.
Bad guys? A lot.
Shut it, Mellow. You'll give away our position.
Readings for poor people.
We need to eliminate the guard first, and it's best if we don't alert anyone inside.
Hang on! We can't take off here! If the bad guys wake up, we'll be in danger! There are a lot of bad people patrolling this area. Look, the dirigible is over there!
We gotta sneak and steal it, yeah? Oh shit, I gotta go back. What? We need an intruder detected? How did they see me? Oh.
Guest, Hana has found something amazing!
What you found?
See the purple dream bloom here? Its fruit emits a sleeping gas if you hit it hard enough.
Okay.
Just toss it into the middle of the camp and it'll
Convenient.
knock us all out.
That's
Then we
convenient.
can get the dirigible back.
Is it really that powerful?
It sure is. I'll show you the best place to throw it. Just make sure you don't end up falling asleep too.
Okay.
Toss this into the circle in the camp.
Where's it gone? It was saying it was like 800 meters away then. I was like, holy shit, dude.
We did it! This way, my friend! Huh! The bad guys are all asleep!
Dude.
Dirigible.
So, I don't know what it is. Some of the background audio in this game kind of reminds me of,
Honored guest, take off.
oh, it was a game now, man. PlayStation
Hang on.
2.
We can't take
It's
off
called
here. If the bad guys wake up, we'll be in
Cloud
danger.
something.
Let's take the balloon
Shit, what was
somewhere
that game
safer.
called now? Dark Cloud, was it, I think?
Take a look at this. Look, there! There's a car over there. We can use it to transport the dirigible. You bring the car around, while Mello and I pack up the dirigible.
Bring the car around, you know. Holy shit. Oh, well, I was going to drive it then.
The dirigible is packed.
Yeah,
Put
we're
it
going to
in the
drive it.
car. They're going to spot us. Who's driving? Me, of course.
Oh, no.
Don't worry, I'm a great driver.
We're going to die.
Hannah, hurry.
Foolish Mello, you don't talk to a girl about her weight.
Very heavy.
Don't move, Mello. We're going to tip over.
How heavy is Mello? What the hell? Sort of weight displacement this truck got if it, Mello moving could tip us over. You know? Sorry. Dude, my breasts are ridiculous.
This way.
Alright. Before we get in though, boys and girls, I'm gonna have to call it there though, because it is 4:30. I didn't realise the freaking time. I gotta get your Rosie from work and take her to the gym. I'm looking to try and get live later because we haven't played much of this at all today, and I need to get my dailies running Wuthering Waves as well. Thank you to everybody who's come and hung out today, guys. I really do appreciate ya. Thank you for the continued support as well on the videos. Shout out to everybody who's been watching those, liking, commenting, all that good stuff. It means a lot. And I'll try and get a video up as well today as well. But yeah, I'm gonna say thank you, guys. If I don't see you later, I'll catch you in the next one. All right. Hopefully as well, you're feeling better as well, Jamie. Let me know, man. Good to see you up and about. And I'll catch you all later, guys. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ta-ra.